Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live right here on Thinking Critical YouTube, your Saturday morning destination for, I think, over 6 years now. Something crazy like that. I don't know why we decided this was our time, but it is our time. We've got a great panel for you today. There is no Perch. I've already seen people complain. You know, Perch is a busy guy. He's not completely available all the times, but we are going to talk about some of the weird stuff going on with Marvel Comics and why their 616 pales in comparison to the Ultimate Universe and even their comic books and shared continuity 30 years ago. And obviously, we do need a Marvel expert like Josh McDonald. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good. I'm glad I can be here as a Marvel expert. Doc and I had a pretty grueling duel. I beat the I don't know if it's too early to cuss, so I beat the snot out of him. Yeah.
No F-bombs supposedly in the first 30 seconds of a video is
Okay.
kind of what you're not supposed to do. Now, Josh, I've been seeing something that's out there, and apparently Kate Middleton, people think she might be dead because she doctored some photos. What's going on with this?
Well, as also being the expert of the royal family, I figured I'd let you guys in that she had photos that were photoshopped. Oh my God, the royal family couldn't look imperfect, so they photoshopped something. So it must mean she's dead. No, I think yesterday she released a video. She's got cancer, so she's fighting. She's been fighting cancer and going through treatments. So,
well, it sucks that she had to make that video and people just didn't leave her alone. And she was.
Oh, agreed. You know,
I don't think stress is probably good for that.
Stress probably isn't good for that. You know, chemo can be really draining and exhausting. So, and I don't know if they've announced what kind of cancer it is. She put a video. I didn't watch the video. I just read the title of the video.
Well, Josh, for being our royal family correspondent, I'm going to give you one of these. Look at this. Bam. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A little harder risky. Anything going on with comic books and Josh and on all that stuff, Josh?
You know, just trying to keep up with indie comics more than anything else. The channel's ramping up. I'm in a fight with Disney. We're battling it out right now. They're disputing some of my videos. Huh?
You're beefing?
Yeah. They're trying to dispute my video where we praised one of their movies. So
did you use too much? Like you can use B-roll from trailers and stuff.
Yeah,
but it can only be like a certain percentage of your video.
Yeah,
I don't know how a critical drinker gets away with it.
It's like not even 10 minutes worth of footage and over a 2.5 hour video, and there's
probably because it's 10 minutes worth of footage.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll fight them on it. So
fuckers.
David and Goliath. Yeah, it is fair use. So
just waiting on them to 10 minutes. It's like probably 12%, maybe.
10 minutes is
Josh, you just need to kick down the doors of the Disney office.
2 hours, 120 minutes, 10 minutes, 12%.
Josh always dealing with footage.
It's like 2.5 hours. It's a 2.5 hours. So you're looking at like 150 minutes.
It's fair use, Josh. Just kick down Bob Iger's door, walk in there and say, "It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair.
It's what's fair."
There is a link to Josh's YouTube channel in the video description if you haven't checked out Popeye Culture yet. You're missing out on something special. And an opportunity to see more of Aaron as well as MVP. I think he's there too.
Every now and then we've got a series coming up that we're launching. Max is doing some cherry popping on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So
phrasing.
I would watch Firefly. It's a better show.
He's seen Firefly. So the whole point of the series is to introduce people to shows or movies they haven't seen, and he hasn't seen Buffy or Angel. So,
well, have you guys done the Ice Pirates show yet?
Everybody would be on that because nobody saw it, Wes.
Ice Pirates is fucking amazing, man. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
Josh,
awesome.
we gotta get you to watch Ice Pirates then. Ice
Yes.
Pirates.
There you go.
It's so good. Oh man, that's good stuff.
I've never seen Goonies, and I've been taking some heat on that this week.
God.
Okay, adding that to the.
Wow.
No,
add that. To
we
the
do
list.
have MVP returning after he blew me off last week. I tried to get him on the show. He's like, I ain't got time for that shit. But
yeah,
he finally, I guess he had nothing to do on a Saturday.
I finally made it. No, thanks again for having me, brother. Yeah, speaking of the Goonies, I almost stood up and just did the truffle shuffle, but I figured
Yeah.
that'd get you demonetized. So I will sit down
You
and
can't
keep
do
my
a
shirt
truffle
on.
shuffle with a six-pack, man. Stop trying to sell like some type of authentic nerd.
Well,
Demonetized, but
too many
the super
crunches.
chats.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, maybe it'll get you more
Only
monetization.
fans.
Yeah. Oh no. I don't want to be Bo DeMayo. Don't get me started about that guy.
Please.
But no, it's great to be on here. And yeah, sorry I missed last week, but you guys honestly have been crushing it the past 2 weeks with Perch on here and the guests that y'all have, and Jim's stories always. It's like it's not like a drama where I have to tune in every week to find out what happened next on the last episode. So it's always good to be here, like I said. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Jim's life is far more entertaining than any comic book out there
For
today,
everybody else,
including Transformers, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's close. It's close.
Yeah.
Anything going on the channel people should know about?
Really just keeping a steady schedule of live streams. So every Friday night, myself, Kyle, and Drew review the weekly comics for that specific week. So we go through Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, whatever it is. We try and read as many as we can. And then on Sundays, I do a Warhammer stream in the morning with X-Ray Girl and Carolyn and Steph, my nerdy home. And then on Sunday evenings, I do more of a industry stream. So that's Max's Man Cave, and that's talking about the comic book industry and pop culture in general. That's kind of a variety show. But I have Aaron and Josh, and last week we had
If I have a talent, can I be on?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've been working on my dancing.
Oh well, I mean, if I do
not
the
that
truffle
kind of
shuffle,
variety
you
show.
do some dancing.
Isn't that what a variety show is? Have,
I'll play harmonica.
Like,
we'll have a hoedown.
Aaron's on there like he's a ventriloquist. He's got a little dummy and stuff.
Wait, is this public access or is this variety show? It's like public access. But yeah, last week we had Rini and Aaron was gracious enough to have her come on the show, and so we kind of highlighted her closeout stream and highlighted her like closing of her last crowdfunded book. And I got to say, if you guys are looking for crowdfunded books, like chat, Rini has some incredible pieces. It kind of meshes together manga and Western books in a fantasy Viking setting. It's beautiful. She creates her own language, her own fantasy world. She really puts the work in, and it reinvigorates her passion for comics, seeing what she's doing. So I highly recommend that. But that's what we've got going on over at the MVP channel.
Very nice. So Josh, you're saying that it sounds like Ice Pirates is gay because you think it's pirates on ice. So no, in the future, there's a like water is a precious commodity. There's none left. And it's
gotcha.
They keep it in ice form and they travel around the galaxy, and these guys steal ice from the man.
Josh,
Does
it's
that
real
sound
gay.
gay to
It's
you?
real gay.
I mean,
Come
it
on!
sounds like you're sucking a lot of ice to get some water. So yeah, it sounds kind of gay.
Josh is like, why is it not called Butt Pirates?
Yeah, really.
No.
This is awful. All right,
This
Jim.
is a family show, Max.
Oh,
Jim,
sorry.
you're
yeah.
up.
Shoot.
Normally, you've got a near-death experience. This week, that did not happen.
Nope. I was fine. I got tackled in Aldi and threw a bottle of spaghetti sauce that ended up smashing, but that was fine. My
And you
son
ran out of
decided to do
Aldi's
that.
without paying for it, which was
Well, I'm not going to pay for something that I was holding, and I got tackled in store and then dropped. I ran.
Technically, it was
I
your
was
fault.
done. Well, what? Because I got tackled? I think my son might have wanted to
because
do that.
your son, he's
Yes.
your responsibility.
Yeah,
he tackled
well,
you.
That might be true, even though he's like 24. I say because I'm really not sure, but
I think according to Obama, he's your responsibility.
yeah, I
he's
guess.
27.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, he's a big dude too, and he ended up just deciding to tackle me because I'm just there minding my own business. But that was that. But the big thing last night, I went to bed
Was
early.
he on ice in all this?
He was
That's
on
impressive.
ice. I ended up, my big thing this week is I had a dream
Rob
that I
Downey
bought a
kinda shows up.
kayak. I bought this kayak in my dream and spent the whole entire dream having buyer's remorse, never used the kayak, and I was so upset when I woke up this morning that I had
Even
a
if you
dream about
dreamed, your
being
life
cheap.
sucks.
Yeah, I was cheap, and I was so upset. I told my wife, and she just laughed at me. and told me I'm cheap. So that's it. A pretty boring week, though. Got tackled.
Well,
but you never ask me what's going on my channel, though. Everybody else gets the, hey, what's going on? You never ask me. But nothing's really going on. So just review. So pass it on. I just wanted to point that out. I don't really need the attention,
if
but
you're
yes.
looking for awesome video reviews of comic books,
oh my!
go to Jim's channel.
It doesn't seem very sincere now.
No, you got attacked by Michael Yannon, and then Bengal attacked you as well.
Yep, and also mispronounced both of their names constantly. But yeah, I got attacked by both of them, so that was fun. But then they apologized to me. I will tell you that. So that's the end story.
You went full Karen on them. They're like, this guy's not going away until we apologize.
Maybe.
He busted out the hair.
No, I just, straight facts. I was spitting at them, and they apologized. So there. Unlike Disney to Josh, because he's always got that footage. I don't mean
always
got
that footage.
Yeah,
you need to have some of that footage that Leslie Headland has. That
exactly. That's the footage he needs.
That's the footage that you need.
I'd do it, but it'd be the inchage, or however you'd pronounce it. So sorry.
You know what it probably was?
Your life is just drama, Jim.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, that's
a
the
lot
thing.
of it's your fault,
drama.
though.
It's almost all my fault.
You end up with like 3 or 4 day disputes on your channel with viewers that want to support you. You do it on social media and all this stuff.
I even get in fights on your channel. If they say something, I get pissed off.
You're still upset about the giggler?
No, I'm still upset about that.
That was like 5 months ago.
Somebody made fun of the song that I made, and I'm still pissed off at that guy if he's here. We'll go out back.
That song was great. We'll
go out back, buddy. Yeah. Oh, well.
So how's the channel doing? Are you growing?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about the channel right now. No, yeah, it is. It's growing.
Makes a big deal about not getting asked.
Exactly.
About
now I have to be cool. I'm like, what? The channel? What are you talking now? It's still
none of
good.
your business.
It goes back and forth. I add subscribers, fight with them, they quit, and then a new round comes in that I fight with. So it works out.
I got a solution.
I haven't figured out the way to do this yet.
Don't argue with them.
Yeah, Wes says all you do is put the thumbs up and a heart and get the hell out. And I'm like, okay, and then I go back. And
if it's an incredibly stupid comment, you pin it, and it's the pin of shame, and then all the other people that read their stupid comment will do it for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Why do you think so many of my comments are pinned? Because it's the pin of shame.
It's the pin of shame. Yes.
That's the pin
I'll learn.
Doc shaming people is the pin that goes up.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Somebody said they were making fun of Jim's song, so they were making, it is true. They were making fun of me. I got mad. Told the guy, I was pretty mean about it too, I think, but that's fine. Off we go.
Aaron, so you had a visitor this week. It was supposed to be MVP, Doc, and you having dinner, but MVP obviously told you guys to screw off as well. So it ended up being you and Doc on like a little intimate setting.
Yeah, well, it's been a really great week, and there's just been a lot going on this week. A lot of really great stuff. I actually got to get dinner with Max on Wednesday night with our friend Nadia for her birthday. We went out and saw her. Went to a really nice place in Pasadena. Had some really great food. Some nice. What did I have, Max? I had the.
There was a peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, I had the peanut butter and jelly old fashioned.
That's what
I had another drink that was like mango tequila with tamarind and around the rim, and that was really good. Had some braised pork belly, really good stuff. Then on Thursday night, I went out and Doc actually came out to the OC. He was working in LA, drove out to the OC, so we met up in Huntington Beach. Went to this restaurant called Capone's, which is a really nice Italian restaurant. Had some great Italian food. Had myself a nice
Doc had a mojito.
Steak. Doc had a fillet, yeah.
That's not Italian.
But that's what he got. And when they brought
why did you go to Italian? Doc goes
Italians,
lasagna.
Italians do really good steaks a lot of time. Same way that you can get a really good steak at a lot of fish places. It's weird. I don't know.
When they brought it to the table, I'm just saying, like, I got the lasagna, which was good. Although I should have gone for the spicy Italian sausage instead of just the regular meatballs.
Of course you should have.
But when they put Doc's plate down, I was like, oh, I immediately regret my decision. I should have gone with what Doc got.
Why didn't you guys just go to a steak joint then?
It was convenient. We've eaten there before, so we knew the food was good. We didn't, we didn't go to a place and then end up disappointed. We knew
I would have hit Chili's. You know what I'm saying? Some ribs.
There was a Luna Grill in the parking lot, and I told Doc, if you want to switch over to the Luna Grill, I'm not adverse to it.
Now I like that. I like that joint last time, so we went back again, and it was good. It was a good time. They have really good fucking pasta. I just wanted to try their steak this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Doc. Well, and you got some toys out of it. You got a Sabretooth and a Wolverine out of Aaron.
Yep, and a custom head sculpt replacement for Sabretooth. He's already out of the package and with his new head on him.
Nice.
So.
I got some more for you too, Doc. I got more
Awesome.
coming. Like this guy here. Let me see if you guys can see that. Oh, it always that guy right there. With him just all bloodied up, and then some other ones with him just like screaming in rage, and there's gonna be quite a few Sabretooth editions because I do not like that head, that factory head that they gave him.
Yeah, the factory head on that particular Sabretooth, not exactly the best. He kind of has like that cleft chin thing. It just
Factory head, huh?
Factory head.
Factory head.
Yeah, that's a special kind
Ice
of head.
pirates.
So when you're on your lunch in an industrial setting.
Yeah.
It's time to give a shout out to the Patreon backers. We do have a few new ones this week. We have Tyler Golanowski, who fights as Darker L and is the protector of the Nocturna Prime. We've also got the Perfect Fart, who is anonymous, the protector of Truth and Consequences, New Mexico, as well as JMY25, who fights as Ironclad and protects the fictional city of Steel Ridge. I do want to say thank you very much to everybody for supporting the Think Critical Patreon. Over 32 hours of new content every single month, featuring Aaron, Sparrow, Doc, Jim, 32 flavors of Neckwires. We have a whole lot of fun there. If you haven't checked that out, there is a link in the video description, as well as to all these guys' channels, other than Doc and Aaron Sparrow, because they don't have channels. They're just kind of squatting here with us.
Damn right.
Dirty Vagabonds. That's us.
Very nice. And we do have a few super chats. Let's hear what the people are saying. Lane Kramer, Jackpot, and Black Cat, #1, plus Doc. The best week is upcoming.
Oh, I'm going to hate you so much for this.
So we did Wonder Woman 7 this week. Do you think Jackpot and Black Cat #1 will be worse?
Yes.
You like
I think
that
you
Wonder
might be
Woman,
right.
Doc? That you could thank me for that one too.
No, I fucking hated that
I
comic.
told you, Wes.
I hated
I did not want to do it, but
Yeah, Wes
he
wasn't
made me.
going to have you do it, and I made him have you do it.
Oh no, this was an abysmal comic. You will see exactly how abysmal whenever the video comes out. What day is that, Wes? What day does it come
We'll
out?
be out on Monday.
All right. So
Dog,
come
Monday is worse the weekday.
Can I
It was
ask
not a
what
pleasant
was
experience.
what was your favorite part? The part where they went to the space mall, or the part where Wonder Woman chastised Superman about not knowing about his job as a superhero?
I think my favorite part is when they get pedicures together.
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
That's so relatable.
Or when they forget about Pa Kent having anything to do with his upbringing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Except for not biting his nails.
Yeah.
I like when they called Batman a sad sack piece of shit. And
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
cool
what
too.
what a
Yep.
terrible person he was. Not a fun comic book, but Doc and I will have fun with Jackpot, Black Cat, #1. Thanks to Lade Kramer. We've also got Tommy Reviews, Hail Comics Aficionados, just ordered Common America Volume 2 Omnibus, Wall Knight from Iconic Comics, Graham Nolan's Return to Monster Island, and the 68 Omnibus from J Photos. I still need to get Fiendish from Reedy. Man, that's a good haul right there, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. I'd also highly recommend Arc Athena, also from Iconic by Eric Canetti. And
Yes.
I would, if you haven't checked out Kit Carter, Planet Doom by Aaron Lopresti, I would take a look at that one too. And then there's going to be some other good stuff. If you're following me on Twitter, I've been posting teasers for Brotherhood of the Wolf, which I'm working on with Aurelio Mazzara and Wes Azandani. That's going to be like just a survival horror set in during the Crusades. So that's been really good. We're finishing up that first issue right now, so it is complete. It's going to be one of those ones where you order it and then you're going to get it. So just lots of good stuff coming out right now in the crowdfunding space if you know where to look.
Aaron Lopresti, probably the nicest guy in comic books.
Yep, I would say so. Been a friend of mine for so long. Just met him as a punk kid, and he was just like one of those creators where it's like, it's good to meet your heroes sometimes.
Very nice. Caleb says, MVP, what do you go by on Twitter? Because I did some Warhammer 40K sketches and I want to share them with you.
Oh, dude, Callum, that's awesome. Yeah, please share them at Max Priestley, MAXPRIESTLEY, at Max Priestley. You can find me there. I'd
He's
love
got
to
like
see
a
him.
professional head shot from the side, complete pretty boy stuff as you would expect.
I got a
No, when you're as handsome as Max, every picture is a headshot.
Maybe it's not a professional shot. Maybe he just did it on his phone and it just looks good.
that one looks nice.
Yeah.
I just
Not
go there
kinda
to stare at it sometimes.
Yeah. MH Comics Invictus says, hot take, G.I. Joe Real American Hero, Hama and Mooneyham is better than Ultimate Spider-Man for best comic of the year so far.
I agree.
I don't think that's a hot take at all.
You think it's better than Transformers?
No.
I don't
But
either.
it's definitely better
Transformers
than
is
Ultimate Spider-Man.
easier to jump into. I will say that. Transformers is a new book that like people can jump into. G.I. Joe is satisfying the long-term fans. So it's and might be a little more difficult to just like pick up an issue and figure out what's going on. So
I did think this week's particular issue, though, was very expository as they were kind of laying out
I agree.
what's happening next. And everyone was talking to me like, hey, I did this and you did this. And now we're going to do this. So it wasn't as exciting as maybe the previous 4 issues, but it has been awesome. But it sucks that Mooneyham's going away.
It really does.
Yeah.
He's so damn good, and he's bringing such life to Larry's script. So I'm hoping whoever they've got lined up behind him can do him justice. Because we had a lot of years of G.I. Joe with just kind of like bland art, and it dragged the stories down. So I
heard
life's too
Peach
short for bland
Momoko
art.
is going to fill in. She's gonna...
You know what? That would
Peach
still be
Momoko?
better than some of the ones we've got in the past. I would,
That's true.
It was,
I use Peach Momoko drawn military vehicles.
It's a DC artist. I can't remember his name, but he's good. He's not as good as Mooneyham. But such as happens. But we are getting a new artist on Transformers also next month. So Odin 87, top of the morning to you. Started Claremont's X-Men run, but I almost gave up choosing between the Epic Collections, Marvel Masterworks, or Omnibuses. Went with Marvel Masterworks Digital. I'm having a good time. Colossus is great.
I can't really blame you for going that route. Honestly, I don't. The Masterworks are they're the black and white ones, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Epic Collections are the black and white ones, and then the Marvel Masterworks are the silver bordered.
You're right.
Yeah. I was,
and then the Omnibus are what these guys are. So, but yeah, those Epic Collections, those black and white ones, I'd almost say those are more valuable now, because when they first came out, they were like $10, $15, $20, and it's like now you want to see that line work. So, but
yeah, and honestly, there's really no correct way to go and read all those old Claremont X-Men's. There's not a right or wrong way. I mean, except for pirating them. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Go
There's
buy
a
them.
right or wrong way to bag and boredom, as we've established before.
Yes, there is a right or wrong way to bag and board, and there is a right or wrong way
to sort them.
Yes, organize them.
Yeah,
there's definitely that way. There's a wrong way.
It's
to do
by
that.
character.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
That's the wrong
Color.
way. Yes, that is definitely the wrong way to do it. But regardless, no, you do dig it. It's great, and Colossus does have a really great arc during the first part of that era. He kind of loses a little bit of his steam later on, but it's still really fucking good.
Love Colossus. He's awesome. Federico De La Casa just finished X-Men 97 because your boy Zach and just some guy recommended it. This show was the best X-Men story in years. Perhaps DeMeo was fired because he did a good job. That would be subverting expectations.
Wouldn't it be ironic if he was fired because they watched the show and were like, it's not gay enough?
Yes.
Josh, did you watch X-Men 97?
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. I thought they were decent. Like, I didn't mind it. So
were they sufficiently gay?
There's definitely some gay vibes throughout it for sure.
Is it Gambit's crop top? Because I jumped in on that controversy on Twitter.
No, that didn't bother me at all. But there's the point where they go to a club, and it's very much like a gay leaning type club based on the music and atmosphere. But you don't see gay couples. But yeah,
gay clubs are the best. They're the most fun.
Sure, I'm not going to disagree with that. But yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of undertones, and it's very minor. Like it's blink and you miss it. It's understated, but even the way Morph stands and moves sometimes, some of the kind of comments he'll make, even the way that Magneto speaks of Charles and the X-Men speak of Charles and Magneto's friendship. Yeah, it's got some.
Yeah, I've
undertones there.
already seen the shipping going on with that. With
Yeah.
Charles
Oh, yeah,
Xavier.
that happens. Sounds like a lot of people like the show. People are like, you need to watch X-Men 97. You have no idea how many cartoons I already watch. Not because I want to, because I have to. And my kids aren't watching X-Men 97. They're watching Ping Pong and fucking Cocomelon and a bunch of crap like that. And that's what I'm watching. So I understand it, but
yeah,
I'm watching
will
Firefly
say,
right now.
In regards to X-Men 97, there's actually some really good action scenes in it. So
yeah, the beatdown that Cyclops takes from Executioner, I thought, like I saw that clip is going everywhere and becoming like a big political statement. But just insofar as an action piece, I was like, wow, I'm really digging this.
Yeah,
it's got nothing on the Tyrannosaurus Rex dance during the Tyrannosaurus Rex song from Ping Pong. That's all I'm saying.
I will YouTube that after the show.
Caleb says, MVP, have you seen that Space King cartoon?
Yes, I've watched portions of it. I haven't watched the entire thing, but the guy who made it is incredibly talented, and he's kind of doing a satirical version of like Space Marines, and it's hilarious. It's very well done. He's very talented, and it's a lot of fun if you're like a big 40K fan. So,
do you like
yeah,
satirical versions of Space Marines?
Well, the political thing on Twitter is that Warhammer 40K has always been satirical of Nazi Germany and all this. It's the same language that's in comics is now making its way into Warhammer 40K. If you don't,
I was asking a serious
that,
question.
Oh, about like
if you like that
Space
stuff,
Marine?
you should watch Roughnecks,
Oh, I
which
don't know
is
what that
a
is.
spin-off of Starship Troopers. 1 or 2 seasons in 3D animation. Unfortunately, not enough people watch it, but it was awesome. It was really, really good.
Oh, okay. I might have to check that out then. Yeah, I mean, I think satire has its place as long as it's done well. But yeah, this Space King cartoon is done with like perfect reverence towards like the original, source material, and it's really funny, and I like the animation a lot. So
Very nice. Lane says today I got a challenge for Aaron Sparrow as well.
Oh, I'm curious.
Is it like
now.
a beard challenge? Is he going to challenge you to who has the best beard?
I mean, I don't think I can take Doc in that contest. Doc's beard was resplendent this week. But...
If people want to see the Doc face reveal, it's actually on Aaron's Twitter.
Or my Instagram.
I literally don't really go out like Aaron and I were talking about that at dinner. He's like, you don't care? I'm like, dude, I don't exactly make it difficult for people to figure out what I look like. I just
You don't use your real name. You don't show your face in the live streams. What do you mean?
If you searched for him on Instagram using his Twitter name, he's got an account that's right there. Like, it's not like I was like, you want me to put like, because I was going to go into
There's no crossover between
put
Twitter and Instagram. It's 2 different audiences.
I was going to put a dot over his face. I thought that would be funny, and he was like, nah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I'm shocked that Doc has an Instagram. The next thing I'm going to find out is that Doc has a freaking TikTok and he's doing dances.
Yeah.
Tearing up.
Technically, I do have a TikTok, and there is nothing on it. Literally, absolutely, 100% nothing.
Freighter7 says, check out Groken 3 by Kenneth Rocafort. Kenneth Rocafort's awesome.
His art's awesome.
For the art.
The story I think needs some work, needs some editorial oversight. But that's a lot of these books. A lot of the artists that come in aren't necessarily writers, and you're getting a story, and you're enjoying it for the beautiful artwork.
Tommy reviews, Aaron, you had me at Survivor Horror. I will follow you. I follow you.
Appreciate it.
I will follow
and look at that. Is that Tommy? Is that you with Jason David Frank? That's awesome.
It is, isn't it? The guy must like Power Rangers.
Yeah, I got a chance to hang out with him a couple times at Power Morphicon, and it's really really tragic. His story, but he was a nice guy.
Did you guys go to Chipotle or something?
No, we didn't go to Chipotle. I was his money handler one time, where like he was signing and I was the one that was taking the money.
Like you had the belt with the change maker?
Oh, I wish that would have been cool. I would have been like the Punisher, have that
That's
change,
like
the change belt in front and be like, like, oh man, that would have been cool. You think that's what those little things on the front of Punisher's costume are? You think that's just like change in case he has to ride the bus?
He's putting quarters into everyone's like little thing. So
Karma. He's weighing out his karma. It's like, I killed all these people, but I paid for everybody's parking on this street. Yeah, I kept the meter maid off of them.
Brad Frederick says Mooneyham is going to be drawing an Energon Universe event and then returns to Real American Hero. So that's good news. That's pretty good. I imagine that will be the beginning of the official G.I. Joe as an actual like unit, right? Because we still don't have that.
That might be the event, the forming of G.I. Joe. That'd be cool.
I also know that DWJ is officially off of the interiors of Transformers, but the guy taking over for him looks pretty dang good. I mean, it's as close as we can get to DWJ. So I think he's still doing covers, and I think he's still doing the writing credits, but he's officially off the interiors.
Well, I've read a lot of Jorge Corona comic books, and I've never thought he resembled Dana Warren Johnson, so he must be doing it on purpose.
It looks like it. The guys and I checked out some of the interiors. They had some preview pages online, and like I said, it looked pretty kinetic. It looked very dynamic, similar to what DWJ has done. And they also have Mike Spicer on colors, which just makes it like infinitely, really, really great.
Who's better, Mike Spicer or Jordi Belair on colors?
Jordi Belair. What you have to remind me what he's done.
She's done a lot of work. She's the best colorist in comic books.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
I'm gonna say that Andrew Dalhouse is the best colorist in comic books.
Well, yeah,
I think
that's
I
a big
agree
debate.
with Aaron on this.
Aaron's out of his mind.
I'm taking nothing away from Jordy at all, because Jordy is fantastic. But I got to go with my boy Dalhouse.
I'm just saying, go read Blade and see the first two issues colored by Jordi Belair, and then the next issue colored by somebody else, and it loses any sense of coolness, the art itself. Very, very awesome.
Too many of the colors just add like 4 million colors, and it looks like fucking mud anymore anyway. So,
isn't Belair doing the colors on Transformers, or wasn't they? Weren't they? I believe they were. I might be wrong with that. We're talking about colors for too long. That's too much. We do have stuff to get to. My goodness, we got a topic. We have noticed that the Ultimate Universe has started out really hot. Ultimate Spider-Man, everyone's loving that. There are a few good Marvel comic books, but it's like Symbiote Spider-Man 2099. An alternate take of an alternate universe kind of thing. It's Wolverine Madripoor Nights, which takes place in continuity 30 years ago. And there just aren't a whole lot of things happening within the actual 616 within continuity. They're really exciting right now. And Jim and I have been noticing this. Obviously, we read like everything from Marvel and DC. And Jim, Marvel has just sucks so bad in continuity. It's like Moon Knight and maybe Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, and even those are starting to get a little bit boring. There's a lot of bad books. Me and you talk. When we talk about it, I'm depressed every week, mainly because of you, but the books too. But
I thought it was your life.
It is my life, actually. But when we get on and you talk about them, and you really don't, it doesn't hit you unless you sit down and read all of them at once each week, and you're just going through one after the other, and it's amazing that they can't even be mediocre. Like it seems easy to me to be mid, and they go beyond it. It's like you have to make an effort to actually be that bad, but they're that bad. And there's a lot of books that, you want to like, and new number ones come out, and you're like, oh, this will be cool. I see people now where they're like months ahead of time, which, you have to wait for the issue. But once they see creative teams and things like that, it's just the track record just shows that they're not really putting that much of an effort into it. And then half the books get stealth canceled anyway because they're so bad.
This week we got Black Panthers stealth canceled. We've got Blade being canceled, I guess, at the next issue. Previously, we had Punisher. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it's sad.
Well, that's because they're stealth launched in the first place.
Yeah. It is like stealth because nobody cares. Right?
Yes. And I mean, they launch them and claim that they're ongoing, but
Yep.
not all of us know that none of them are actually ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. I mean, it's one of those things where they take characters and even when they don't change things up or whatnot, most of it's boring. Most of it just ends up being everything but the character. It's mind blowing.
Even if you go to like Comic Book Roundup, if you go to Batman, it's going to have 13 reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing or Ultimate Spider-Man will probably get 10 or 11 reviews. ASM 5 max. Like you go to all the books this week, the one with the most reviews had 5 professional reviews on it. I don't think the reviewers can even stomach it anymore.
Yeah, and in an overall deal, Josh will even tell you. At one point, you'd have 60 reviews for, the big. I mean, it was crazy a bunch of years ago. And now, like, Batman only having 13 is pretty pathetic. But yeah, a Spider-Man that's supposed to be the biggest selling book has 5 reviews. And then you look at user reviews, which, again, those usually are people, going on being all. They've given up, too. It's just bad.
Well, if I could add something here when it comes to reviews. I think doing reviews, a lot of people they're no longer giving them away. I think those people that are interested in doing reviews and doing reviews on a regular basis are now likely doing it via YouTube, because I have seen kind of an increased number of like channels doing reviews these days. So it could be they've just moved instead of giving them away to Comic Book Roundup, they're doing it and trying to, I don't know, become a internet personality.
I used to do about 10. Well, oh my goodness, Doc. I ended up doing about 10 written reviews each week, and I gave up. I stopped doing those, and I'm doing some stuff.
Jim, you're trying to become an internet personality?
I'm an internet personality, everybody.
Yes, you are.
And the thing is I just kind of, I'll tell you right now, when you do reviews on a site, Roundup, whatever, nobody ends up, there's no real interaction like there used to be. It ends up where you just kind of have
Mark Waid?
Space a bit. Yeah, so Mark Waid yells this. But I went to YouTube, did like one review just because Wes was saying that I should. I went and I'm like, holy crap, there's actually people talking about comics. And I got all excited about it because, you get that interaction more and it feels a lot more fresh. Than just, writing it down. That's me personally. Gabe still does reviews, a little sus, but overall though, a lot of it has died. I went back because I was looking at some older reviews, and why I even brought up Josh, I laughed because I went to see just how many reviews there were, and I'm going down, I'm like, all these 10, me and Josh at the very bottom of this review. I'm like, there's me and Josh, that's good. And actually, I ended up talking to Josh for the first time because of a Catwoman review, and I said, oh my god, it's so funny because everybody else was loving this piece of crap thing, and we laughed about it. But I went and I'm looking down these lines, and I actually was just like, they're no longer around, and it just went down the line. But it's also maybe Josh would agree as well, when you had these things going like Rebirth, all of a sudden like 100 new sites came out and everybody's excited. You kept adding. Now it's nothing for people to get excited about. There's no real like, oh my god, I love this so much, I have to have a site or I have to have a podcast. It's all kind of dying, and people more at YouTube. But that's more of people frustrated with the stuff than just a review. It's more the frustration deal, and that's where everybody's kind of congregated right now, and that shows because there's a lot of just, this is bad. And usually you could say, and the companies would say, oh, they're just trying to do this. They're trying to get some. It's not that. These books are really bad. And again, I had this week a guy say to me, and, I got in a fight a bit, but the idea of if you don't like it, you shouldn't review it. I'm like, that's not what this is about. If you're a reviewer, you have to review everything, the good, the bad, the facts of life stuff. You have to do it all. And people don't even realize that. So it's just frustrating, I think, for all of, the thing when it's this bad, because it just makes you look like a jerk if you say stuff's bad all the time, but you can't fake the funk.
But when it's all bad, like, when it's mostly bad, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what happens. And it's sad because you're really relying on the companies to put out good product because you want to like it and you want to pump it. I love comics, but then I look like an asshole, and it just sucks and it gets you depressed.
I just want to
also
push
the-
back on this idea, and Max, you can jump in here
Mhm.
too, because I know we talk about this all the time on the channel. Is this idea that if you don't have anything positive to say, you
Yeah.
shouldn't review the comic book? And it's not like even in a bad comic book, we don't look for positives. We absolutely do. But art is meant to be critiqued, and if you can't critique art, if that's something that's sacrosanct, and we can't get in there and we can't review it and we can't decide what's good and what's bad, then what's the point of it?
Yeah, it's such a tired argument. Oh, you don't like it, don't speak about it, or don't review it, or don't talk about it. But what got a lot of these people into comics, into YouTube, into whatever it is in the first place, is that they felt like they were the outsiders because they were reading books and they were going, man, something's not connecting with me. I'm not enjoying these stories like I used to. Or, man, am I crazy? Do I feel like, the publishers and the editors are like purposefully trying to lecture me or call me out as some sort of racist or something? Am I crazy? And then they go online and they see us as reviewers saying, no, you're not crazy. This is actually what we feel like as well. And so a lot of these people have found a place here in this kind of fellowship. And so we can't neglect the importance of that too, because I can't tell you guys how many times I hear people saying like, I felt like I was crazy. I felt like an outsider because everyone was telling me that I was wrong, and you're not. So if you feel that way, don't, because you're like-minded here. So
I've had a thing where
silence
people
dissent.
Yes, exactly.
So that we can gaslight you into thinking that the slop is gold.
Exactly.
There's been people who have come in on, channel, but even the podcast and our website and stuff. And like at first, because when you first get into comics, it is exciting. It's one of those things. And I saw something with sci-fi books. Like the first sci-fi book you read, whether it's awful, it's going to feel great because it's so fantastical and there's so many crazy concepts. But then once you learn, and some of these people will come on and say, oh man, you're just negative, you suck, and this, and I'm like, well, there's other places. But when they come back then eventually and say, you know what, I realized what it was. I thought everything was great. And then once I saw, once they get hit by a couple comics that are awful and whoever they're listening to, whatever, like these are great and they never have reasons, then they realize, yeah, this is just surface level bullshit, and then come back. They'll come back then because then they'll realize, oh, you weren't being negative. You were actually just being honest and critical. But that's tough at first. It does take a bit of a learning curve sometimes. And people, hey, I like this reviewer because he has this sensibilities and stuff like that. But still, when everything's bad, it makes everybody look kind of bad at points.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Jim, I can agree. I think that I think we can all agree that you are negative and that you do suck, but you are funny.
I do. I'm negative
So,
and I suck, but I try to be at least a bit entertaining.
You're funny and entertaining, and I love your channel, and everybody should go check it out.
See how much I suck. But yeah, these books, again, like the whole topic, when it's this bad, it just gets, it's sad and it's depressing because we do want everything to be good, but it just doesn't seem to be. In Marvel, and I'm telling you, this article that pointed this out, some of the things that they were thinking were good. I don't know what they were talking about because it's been bad for a while, and some of the big books haven't been readable and things like that. So when we get to this point, it's not just the past, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's been a steady decline. And I just think there's a lot of writers that are being hired in all comics, especially Marvel, that just aren't that good. And you're getting a lot of books from them, and it's really tough. And when you have the big, giant books and you see the creative teams on them, you just shake your head.
Well, the thing is, MVP, I think for Marvel to work, you can't just invest in a character. They want you to invest in the universe, and or at least a corner of the universe, maybe the X-Men or maybe all the Spider books or the X-Men franchise books. But it's like, you say you guys are reading all the Marvel and DC stuff now. It's a lot of work to invest in any of this stuff, and it doesn't make you feel good at the end.
I mean, yeah, let's take a look at some of the most recent events that have happened that have been trying to be world building or trying to bring in a grander purpose, like what Gang War, what was it, Dark Web? These were just tie-ins and events that meant absolutely nothing and were just a slog to get through. I think really the only event that really got me involved with the 616 and enveloped me in the Marvel, universe was that King in Black story. And sometimes I get heat for it, and people are like, "Oh, that sucked." I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was, fan service, but it was also a lot of action and intrigue, and brought some new characters into the fray. And hey, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. So, like King in Black, I enjoyed, but that was 2014?
Nah, that would have been
that.
2021, 2020, somewhere around there.
No, oh, okay. I thought it was way
It's in
older.
a
Okay,
time
never
warp.
mind.
I
Yeah.
thought Devil's Reign wasn't bad, but at least there's some stakes in there. In theory, the Fisk law or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was great.
Although it wasn't preventing anyone from doing anything.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
I realized that things were really bad. I was going to make like the top 5 Marvel comics you should read. Now, this is before the Ultimate stuff came out, but I'm like, yeah, if I do that, I better make it a top 3. Because I couldn't find like a 4th and a 5th at that point, so I was having problems.
Yeah, it's sad. Jim, you mentioned something earlier about like how there used to be a passion around comics, and you would see people, more people wanting to review comics and get some publications out there. And that triggered my memory of when I first started with Batman News, we weren't getting review copies. We had to go buy our books to then review them. But all of us, like, we were dead set on doing it. We loved it because we were loving the product. Most of the time. There are some zingers here and there. But generally speaking, a majority of the books were solid to good, if not great. And we didn't mind it. Like, we'll throw down money to get this out here, and because we loved comics. We wanted to talk about them. We wanted to create a group to have these conversations with. But yeah, it's just gotten so bad that everyone, including the people working on these books, are just apathetic towards them. They don't care.
Yeah, and you said that at a point when we were getting the things, when we finally got the DC review copies, which they yanked from us, but even Marvel stuff, me and Eric, who we do the stuff, we were already buying them. We were already getting them. So it was one of those things like, hey, even if we weren't doing this, I'd still be reading and buying the stuff. If I wasn't doing the stuff, if me and Wes weren't doing the show on Patreon or all the stuff that I do, I don't know how many books I'd actually put money down for because they're just bad. I still have to buy some because I don't get the DC review copies, so I have to do that, and it just kills me each week when I have to buy bull crap and then talk about it about 6 times. But Marvel right now, me and Wes talk about it. Marvel, they have a couple really good books, and then the rest just are like there is such a cliff that you fall off of to these books, and I don't even know how to make it better, except, I mean, you could say get better writers, but I don't know who those writers are even.
The ones that they've blacklisted.
Yeah. I think it was highlighted in that CBR article, which is, I can't believe I'd even say that, but there was a moment in the article where I was kind of like having to, I looked at who was writing this and I was like, what is going on? Because they had some contradictory takes, but one of the things that they did say was Marvel's biggest problem right now is a leadership problem. That was quoted from the article. Marvel's editors are often openly hostile to the fans and what they want. That was actually in the CBR article.
Wow.
But then then the
Hot
next
take.
paragraph contradicts itself because it says Marvel is on top of the world when it comes to sales. And it's like, no, they're
Well, they are. No, they're outselling DC because they have the characters.
They have-
yeah.
I lost it when they're like, Jason Aaron's Avengers was great and gave everybody what they wanted. I'm like, I don't agree with that.
Like,
That's
no,
kind of
no.
bullshit.
They started out all right.
Yeah.
That article was, let's just say, interesting.
Yeah.
There's a conversation stimulator.
Yes, it was
It
not
had
much
some
more.
points, but some weird stuff in it as well. It kind of
There was a lot of weird stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're on to something here, and then they follow up with some ridiculous observation that you're like, are you on drugs? Like, because that
Marvel
seems
needs
like
to get
something
into Marvel needs to get into the T. Franklin business, and you're like, what?
Yes.
You're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, like you're like, okay,
They
okay. It's like somebody
Sun
that's
Spider.
like, when they have all of the correct like ingredients, it almost feels like that Homer Simpson meme where he's like, all right, cereal, milk, and then it catches fire, and I'm like, yeah, that's about the conclusion. You're like, okay, good point. The worst conclusion you've ever heard in your life.
Did not
It's
stick
like-
the landing.
It's
Well-
like Hollywood. They learn the wrong lessons, even though and that's the thing. Even in the article, it says Marvel's biggest problem right now is a leadership problem because the editors are openly hostile to the fans and what they want. And yet they'll say, so to counteract that or to solve that, we're going to hire Jason Aaron. And it's like, wait, what? No, you're going about this all wrong. But I think the main thing is, editorial, gut it from the inside out. It comes from leadership, but it also just comes down to good storytelling, because they're talking about, well, we need these types of characters, or maybe we should do this type of event. And it's like, stop, just good storytelling. If you have
They just got to get back to the
character-
basics of who the characters are.
That's what they
Yeah.
need to do. And
Yeah.
and they don't like to reboot, so you're gonna. But that shows you why the Ultimate stuff's so great, because it does a crazy thing. It gives fans what they kind of want for the most part, but also, interesting storytelling and getting some good creators. And in the regular books, though, you keep doing this deal where you don't want to give the fans what they want, so you give them like slightly that, but really bad storytelling, never set up anything, and then when it fails, you blame the fans, and it's just, that's not a good way to do it. And they've been doing it with like Sentry and Punisher and these things. People will sit there on the surface level and just say, oh, it's bad because of this. No, it's bad because they sucked. They're awful stories, and they keep giving these people more and more books. I mean, one of the things, you want to go with the horrific state of Marvel Comics, they just put out Web of Spider-Man, which was a dupe. It was pretty much a previews catalog that they charged $8 for, to actually preview what awful stories we're going to get in the next year. There was not
Except for Ultimate Spider-Man, the one book everyone wants to know about.
Yeah, and that's yeah. So in the regular 616 Spider-Man stuff, you're like, I don't like. Even people were excited. People told me I was excited about this Kane book, and with the Scarlet Spider and Ben Reilly. They read that little thing, 2-part thing, with what's his name, Steve Fox. They're like, yep, there's a book I'm not getting. I said in my review, what this is, it's great. You spend $8 to save about $100 this year, because you drop everything because they all suck, and it's just bad. It's bad, and even saying it's Web of Spider-Man, there's a bunch of people got duped. They thought it was a new. It's a previous catalog, and I'm telling you, some of that shit was just ripped right from the comics that are probably already completed. It's not even like new stuff. It's
not
bad.
even newly commissioned material.
Yeah. I think they just grabbed shit. This should have been a new free comic book day, but I think the free comic book day, you're supposed to actually want to like what you read. So they realized we can't put it there, so we'll charge $8 for it. It was bad. Had a Greg Capullo cover though. People like that. That's about it.
I think one of the real problems, Aaron, is DC is scaling down, because I think they're getting ready to like jump back up with Ultimate Universe with Scott Snyder and stuff, and once Absolute Power's down, but they're down to like 40 issues or less in a month right now, and Marvel's still doing over 80. And it's hard to have a fully thrive connected universe when you have that many titles going on at once, and it's certainly hard to have like a good percentage of them even be worth your time or reading.
Yeah, no, they're just spamming things out to take up space on the shelf, so that Disney bookkeepers don't start going like, "Why is revenue down so much?"
Yeah.
They're basically, a lot of people in the chat talking about, "Oh, this is a scam and this is a scam." That is a scam. What they do to retailers is an absolute scam. It's unconscionable. Not only do you have 80 titles, but you've got multiple covers on each titles, and all kinds of schemes to get you to buy, books that you're never going to be able to sell. The very fact that they are producing White Widow or Hawkeye and Black Widow, the fact that those scripts were considered good enough to go into full production and be, books on the shelf, it just tells you it doesn't matter. Under CB Cebulski, under Tom Brevoort, these books do not matter. They are just filling a spot. And when the script comes in, it goes right back out, to the artist. There's nobody editing it. There's nobody looking at it and going, this is really bad, because they don't care that it's bad. It's just meant to fill a spot.
It's a number. And you saw it when Tom Brevoort, when they asked him, oh man, you're taking over the X books. Are there going to be less books? Will this be more manageable? And right away he tweeted out, no. We're going to have the same amount of books, because that's what accounting tells us we have to have. And that's an awful thing to say. Like the idea of it doesn't matter who we can get, what they write. We have to have this amount of books, and that's what you're going to get. So get used to it. And thanks a lot.
You will get 12 X-Men books, regardless of whether the market can support it, or readers, or shop owners are willing to order it. We are going to publish 12 X books, and when X books 1 through 8 don't sell, we will just pump out a different one for the next one.
And it's a given, just like those stupid hats that Tom Brevoort wears.
Well, it's a given. It's also the reason why when a storyline like, Tinny's Excalibur, it failed. Nobody was interested in it. And what do? They just continue the story, but with a new name. They gave it a different title and kept releasing the exact same story, the same way that they were doing, with a number of other books. This
week we got the continuation of Immortal X-Men and X-Men Forever.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter that the story was rejected by the audience. We're going to keep telling it until it's over because we already commissioned it.
Yeah.
That's it.
800 Betsy Braddock books. You just keep getting them on over and over.
Books that are based on ideas by like the assistant editors, like Sarah Brunstad. What if there were a bunch of Wolverines in a book, and what if the lead was a girl Wolverine? There you go. That's a pitch that's worthy of just spamming out there. Just get somebody to write it. What's Christos Gage doing?
It's funny. Everything's become a what if book. Actually, it's everything is. Yeah.
No, if you read that Black Widow and Hawkeye this week, Black Widow's got a symbiote. Like, why? Yeah. Why would that have even happened? Happened in the Venom book, apparently by Torben Grunbeck.
Well, thankfully, sorry, go ahead, Doc.
No, go.
I was just going to say, thankfully, Wes, you've got, the titans of the journalist industry like Jonathan Jones, who review every X-Men book every single week. I mean, they is that
they?
It's
he, she, they.
He, she, they are doing the Lord's work in reviewing every X-Men book, and I think you had a picture on your Twitter, Wes, and he responded. So, yeah, I mean, he's really.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, they are.
What's up? Which picture was it?
The Adventures in Poor Taste article that you took a screenshot of the recap.
That guy.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. He did an entire segment of
we
it
loved
on the
it.
show. So
yeah. And if anyone thinks we're being assholes by saying he, she, they, that's what they go by. Is he, she, they? It's in their bio.
I'm calling it from now on.
That's we're fine with me.
But. No, I mean that card for the wrap up of the review of X-Men 32 by I think his name's David Brooks, maybe from Adventures in Poor Taste.
It was Jonathan Jolene Jones.
Oh well, whatever. Whoever that person was the perfect
Josh.
example. Why you can't take any of this stuff seriously? Are you kidding me?
It's because we like almost EFAP'd the poor person on Max's channel one night. Oh, carry on.
Yeah, when your review starts out with strong women in space defeating fascists, you're already I'm already having a difficult time thinking that you are objectively
positives.
Exactly.
Gay.
Oh, was that
pros and cons?
Was that the guy that was talking about the reboot? That was.
We reviewed X-Men 32 and we made fun of the card and
like Magic was in it and everything. Yeah.
Oh
that they had 3 chances to make Magic and Kitty Pryde kiss and they didn't.
That one.
Don't talk about the X-Men killing everybody, but that's fine. They're not kissing is the problem.
Yeah.
They also had a tweet recently where they said something along the lines of Ten of Swords was the best comic event in like the past few decades. So
why are you guys surprised? Like the opinion is invalid as soon as you see the pronouns. Like at that point, like it's just invalid. You don't even know who you are. You have no, room.
I'm sure somebody with pronouns realizes that Blackest Night's the best comic book event of the last 20 years, and the best Marvel event's been Civil War. Right? It's not that hard to suss.
Was Blackest Night within the past 20 years? I guess it was within the past 20 years.
Yeah, early 2000s.
It's getting there. It's getting to the end of that.
It's close. Yeah.
It's sad.
Been a while.
We're old, okay? We are old.
Yeah, we're talking about leadership changes, and Marvel needs it, but DC needs it as well. And, Wes, I know you mentioned the whole, like, Snyder Ultimate verse for DC. I'm hearing that's getting pushed to the back burner right now. So
What? It's supposed to be jumping out of absolute power.
yeah, that and the
yeah.
whole whatever this Brainiac story that they're setting up is also getting pushed back a little bit because it was originally supposed to launch in June, and it's
Yes. No, it's supposed to launch in April.
Is
It's
it?
supposed to wrap up in June. Yes, it launches in the next
Okay,
in the
I
next
think it-
month.
Maybe it leads into something then. But
It leads
yeah.
into absolute power, yeah.
Okay, well, who knows?
Because that's where the Brainiac Queen finally comes online.
Oh God,
Yeah,
Oh.
Brainiac Queen.
yeah.
It's better than. I mean,
That's
what's
what
a really
everything
stupid
needs.
pun name that Josh Williamson could have named her?
Dr.
Like Shush?
Hate. Oh, you mean like that? Yeah, he
Shush.
really comes up with bad stuff. Lame
Yeah.
brain. Could be.
Yeah, I think it's in the next Action Comics is the first
Gotcha.
part of House of Brainiac.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's all right.
Yeah, I'm
It's
so
the
tired of
Superstars and
House
Superbad.
House of Rise of, like Dawn of. Can we stop? Can we stop with all this?
I'm tired of anybody that's a villain of Superman having their own house. I'm with you. The House of Luther, we got the House of Brainiac, we got, of course, the House of Zod makes sense because he is at least Kryptonian.
Introducing Superman's new antagonist villain, and he is homeless.
They
The
wanted to-
unhoused.
Hal,
He's the
Oh.
unhoused.
Yeah. Yeah, that should
That's
Homeless
right.
will be the next villain that Nightwing doesn't go
Yeah.
after.
Nightwing was all right this week, though.
It's okay.
That's the thing with DC is even some of their bad books. Like I don't think Nightwing has been very good for a while, Josh. But if you read it, it's not bad.
No, it's got
that's a
moments.
step up.
It's
Yeah.
got moments where it's bad, but overall it's not bad. And I would actually say if you, which this isn't a compliment, but if you took away half of the Nightwing issues, you would actually have a good book.
Yeah. I said this
Is
week,
Blandly
I'm afraid.
competent?
Yeah. Yeah.
is Blandly competent the bar now? Like
It
just,
is.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that when we get a new creative team on it, we're actually going to say, boy, I wish that, Tom Taylor was back
Oh, God,
on this
yeah.
book because that does happen a lot.
no
It
one's
was
ever
so
said
much
that
better
about
than
Tom
the Rick
Taylor.
Grayson
No.
stuff, and I think what he's done is better than that Tim Seeley was doing. So at least
I
it's
didn't
been.
I
other
didn't
than
mind
the
the Tim
pirate
Seeley stuff.
eh.
I felt like the Tim Seeley stuff had better arcs, like actual plot arcs. But
Well, yeah, I
At the
mean,
end, it got
we're
rough.
in the first plot arc still, and we're 3 years into the book. He's,
yeah,
he's still fighting
Yeah.
Heartless.
yeah.
I had a couple intermezzos. Is that what they use now? Isn't that the word?
Yeah.
I give Tim Seeley some credit because a lot of what he was wanting to do and had planned got cut out from under him. Like they were going a direction and then it was stop, and then it was go this direction and then stop, and then go this direction and stop. So I can't fault him for that.
They do that a lot with Nightwing. They did the same thing with Kyle Higgins.
Oh, 100%.
yeah,
They
cut that
destroyed
off.
his Nightwing run. Should we hear from the people, or do we want to talk more about Marvel?
Let's hear from the people.
Let's hear from the people. Lade says, challenge, Aaron review of Awesome, the Acolyte first 3 episodes. I'll give $60 to Wes's Patreon and pay for 1 month of Aaron having Disney Plus for the reviews.
I can't. I mean, I can't say no. Like Lane's putting his money where his mouth is. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to watch. Oh God, I'm gonna have to watch The Acolyte.
Watch the
I will
first
do
3
it.
episodes.
I will do it. I will do it for you guys. I will take the bullet.
Man, and Lane's he's going to end up best out of this because then he's going to realize just how awesome the Doc is Right tier is. He's like, holy shit, there's all these cool podcasts of these guys fucking around and talking about geek stuff. So it's going to work out for him. We're the ones that are going to suffer, but
Yeah,
part of
you
the,
gotta
it's
go
the
with-
job
You gotta
description.
do. You got to do it with me. I'm
Yeah.
not going it alone.
I mean, I wasn't going to watch The Acolyte unless somebody was going to go along with me. So I'll do it. Aaron, that'll be fun.
Yep.
We're
will
up
it?
for the challenge. We're going to do this bad boy. Federico de la Casa, leadership problem is real. I think if they hire old pros like Louise and Walt Simonson as editors, they could change things in the right way. Yeah, if you put Louise as if she wanted to be the group editor of X-Men and Walt being the group editor of Avengers, I guarantee you things would get better because they have a better sense of storytelling and cohesive nature of universes and how to line things up and get an event ready and get people excited about it.
Mhm.
I don't know if they want to do that. I imagine it's a lot of work with the amount of X-Men titles. You got to have 12 X-Men titles. You got to have 10 Avengers titles. Hell, even you have to have 12 Spider-Man titles at this point.
I'm looking at if you guys haven't checked out this website called Mike's Amazing World, I highly recommend it. He basically has the newsstand comics that came out every single year, for the past however many years. So I'm on March, so this month, but of 1986, which arguably is like one of my favorite years of comic books ever from Marvel, and they have 40 comic books out. 40. That's it. So it's half of what they're normally putting out. And it's not designated by we have to have this amount of Spider-Man or this amount of, Miss Marvel or whatever. They're just racking it up. Daredevil, Thor, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, G.I. Joe, just crushing it. So it just shows quality over quantity.
And
Well,
I
yeah, I mean,
guarantee
that's
you they
been
were
the
selling
downfall
more,
MCU.
selling more individual books at that point.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
45
Oh,
books.
100%.
Yeah.
And they also approach the stories with, what story do we have or what story do we want to tell versus, we gotta beat these comps from last year. So how many books do we need to do that? Sales on average are down 26%. So we got to add 13 titles this month.
Yeah.
Very nice. HH and the guys from Sigma Comics. Shout out to all from Indiana Comic Con back in full swing. Keep it tuned in to Thinking Critical. Volume 3 of our manga is on Kickstarter. Head over today following the stream. Definitely do that. And I got a picture. Apparently, Drew went out to dinner with HH and Mike Barron last night. It looked like they went to Applebee's. They had the rib bib on and all that good stuff. And they had a couple of margaritas. It looked like fun. We missed out. If I ever meet Robert Venditti and he lets me take him to dinner, we're going to Applebee's. You know what I mean? Loaded baked potato soup. We gotta have it.
Wonton tacos, man. I'll go with you.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, they are.
That'd be a fun conversation. That'd be a good dinner to have, though.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe Dallas Fan Expo next year. We can make it happen.
Because HH is he's pretty laid back and calm until you get him upset, and then he's not laid back and calm anymore. And then Mike Barron, he's not laid back and calm. It'd be a good mix.
So you're saying that is HH the Dalton?
Maybe he's the dude from Roadhouse of comic books.
I tell you what, though, when you get in front of him, when he's selling a comic book at one of those conventions, man, that dude lights up. He is so passionate about his product. The second you walk up to his booth and he's selling you on Calico, gosh dang, that man is passionate about his book, about his character. It's an instant sell. I mean, I've been there multiple times where I've walked past his booth, been like, hey, man, I'm going over here. The second I'm walking past, he's making a sale. He's so good at what he does, and he cares about his character a lot.
And for a guy that's been in that many fights, I think he still has his teeth.
He does.
You know what I mean?
He does.
Well done. So definitely
He really
go over
is-
to
he really is the
Kickstarter
Dalton.
and check him out.
He really is our Dalton.
Absolutely.
There you go.
He's the guy that, he doesn't talk much, but if you do the wrong thing, he might just have to throw you out.
Yeah.
Do it. Wraith X7. Most current Marvel and DC comics are professionally written bad fan fiction.
Yep.
They are also telling stories that never should have been told.
It's
Yep.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Fan
them,
fiction
they're
has
not
ruined a lot
looking
of
at
stuff.
the character either. So it's fan fiction, but it's they're the fan they're writing about. Like you end up where they have a story in their head and they just force that character in.
Yeah, Tom
Am
King
I-
talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
Am
Oh,
I the
yes.
only creator that left that approaches things from the standpoint of what would the fans dig? What would the fans
Yes,
get
you
I
along?
think Jeremy Adams does that.
Yeah,
At least
I think
that's my
so.
impression from Flash and Green
Mhm.
Arrow or Green Lantern. I'm sorry, and he'll be doing Flash Gordon soon, which could be cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Man, if you're reading the comic book and you can hear Queen in your head, you know we got it right. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that looks pretty
I also
fun.
like what Josh says about when he's writing characters, because he allows the characters to inform the story. So if you are a writer and you're writing Optimus Prime or something, you shouldn't be saying, how can I write Optimus Prime? How is Optimus Prime going to tell the story that I am writing through him? You know what I mean? Like, it should be that process of how are the characters going to inform the story that I want to tell? And that should then help fans enjoy your story.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know Josh can articulate it a little bit better, but yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm just gonna say, unfortunately, a lot of the writers these days aren't interested in respecting or showing reverence to the characters. If some Yahoo that's writing comics now will just say Danny Lore, were to write Max Von Priestly, Max Von Priestly would suddenly be a trans lesbian.
Because
that's-
non-binary.
And that
Yeah.
would be the only character
Oh,
work
yeah.
because then the story would just
Of
be
course.
about what
Oh,
the attacks against Max Priestley
Yep.
are. They never establish a character, so when they end up doing whatever with it, whether it's this or that, you're not invested because you don't really care or know about the character. The character is a caricature instead of just a character, and it's sad. Character work is one of the things that is completely gone in most of the comics nowadays.
Yeah, you would ask the question like, okay, so what character are you going to bring in? It's like, oh, this character is a trans non-binary lesbian in a wheelchair, and then you go, okay, what's their personality? And they'd go,
Yeah.
I just told you.
Yeah, what's the
And
character?
it's like that's not a character. And Josh, to your point of like writing to the character, when we were, I've talked about this once or twice before, but when we James Silvani and I were doing our second Darkwing Duck run. And we had a story that was tangentially connected to Bushroot. And then the 9th issue was going to pick up another arc. And then they told us like, oh, the 8th issue, after that, you're going on hiatus. So we made 7 and 8 a two-parter. We brought Bushroot in more. And then the story completely changed because as soon as you brought Bushroot in, he came with his own character traits and his own direction, like he directed the story. And, so I think that approach is really the best way to do it, especially when you're working with established characters. But even when you're working with your own characters, once you have their personality in mind, once they are truly fleshed out and they are a character, they will dictate their story for you, or at least how they react to the situations that you put them in.
Yeah, because think of the idea, like one of the biggest things for superhero characters are their villains. But if you don't have an established character that's just pretty much a description, then what do you do with the villains? The villains are only against that one thing, that surface level, and it just keeps going back and forth. You don't ever have, anything in depth or anything intriguing or it's just surface level bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Derpy Hoggington says it makes me so sad great creators can't stay on ongoing titles for more than a year. Daniel Warren Johnson gone after 12 issues, Art at 6, and Hickman Chichetto at 12. Yeah, it does suck. I know that if you're enjoying Conan the Barbarian, I believe Jim Zub has signed up for at least 3 years. And I do think with the success of Ultimate Spider-Man, they'll likely open up the wallet and try and get Hickman back for more than that. But I definitely wish they would have more long-term thinking on some of these bigger titles and lock some of these guys down for a few years.
Wes, did you get a chance to read that Savage Sword, the magazine format of Conan? What did you think about some of that? The art looked like it was generated through some sort of filter in some of those pages.
The first story was a good Conan story, but the art completely was distracting me the entire time. Although the second story, illustrated, I think written by Patch Zurcher, looks really, really good. I think it's Solomon Kane.
Oh,
but that first
Solomon
one,
Kane.
the layers are wrong. Like it just looked weird.
Something with the dinosaur looked like it was
looked
generated
like it
through
was
something.
generated.
And there are like some hills and mountains in the background that did not look like they belong there. That something was done with them, like it was AI generated or something.
Right, but I love that story. Man, that story kept. I mean, it was going. Yeah, it had me intrigued the entire time. I loved that book.
He fought a dinosaur with an elephant. Yeah, it kind of works.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And the hot chick's face just looked kind of weird, like they did something to it too. Yeah. But it's a great price. Like $7 for 86 pages is a good price.
Absolutely, and they had some Robert E. Howard poems in there as well, with some like sketches, some pinups, some beautiful pinups they had in there. So I'll keep buying that book every day of the week. But that's good to hear about Grim Jim Zub, because he's doing some good work over on Conan right now.
Absolutely, it's been a lot of fun. Derpy also wants to say hi, Max. Kyle is always right, and Jim Lee is the number one artist.
Oh no! What's up, Derpy? Great to see you, brother. Yeah, Derpy stops in on our Friday night streams and sometimes on Max's Man Cave. But it's great to see you, brother. Oh man, this is hard.
So are you
to say,
struggling with what I'm struggling with, where people are claiming Kyle is right when he's wrong, just to get under your skin, like they do with Doc?
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are actually believing that Kyle is truly right all
Nobody
the time.
believes Doc is right about anything.
Except for all the times that I'm right about everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You've had a point or two.
So, but it's been fun to have Kyle and Drew on those Friday nights. We really have a fun time reviewing those books. But yeah,
when you see the name, doesn't it look like it should be Keel?
Yeah.
Keel. It's 100% Keel. Yeah.
Like,
I jump
his
in every
parents
now and then.
It's like a typo.
that's a good question. But Drew is spelled correctly, so I don't know what happened.
Exactly. Like, is it
Yeah, but
supposed
Drew has like 5 names.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll come into the Friday chat and occasionally call in and just abuse Keel.
Yeah, and it's fun. We give him a hard time for liking Jim Lee. He's got a weird fascination and obsession, but
Jim
you know,
Lee's a
that's
great
fun.
artist.
He's a great artist. He's not the best artist of all time, but he's a great artist. So
Very nice. Mr. DC Comics, people want Batman to kill, but the characters that do kill in comics, what memorable stories do they have? Creators do nothing with characters that kill. Well, I mean, Punisher certainly has a lot of memorable stories. If you go to like the Punisher Vietnam, Punisher Max.
Yep.
What's the one where he's in like the Irish part of Boston, whatever, and he's
Kitchen
this
Irish.
is a lot of, yes, that one. That's a great story. So there's certainly been a lot of great stories about Punisher that kills. That's the one that comes to my mind. Wolverine also kills from time to time, Doc, and there's been good stories with Wolverine killing.
100%. If you look at, especially if you go back to like the well, I mean, his whole Max line, like his whole Max title was him killing people all the fucking time. And there was a bunch of really good stories in there too.
Yeah, I mean, DC does not have its heroes kill quite like Marvel does. Marvel is like the murder universe, whereas DC's a little bit more hopeful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even then, even Marvel, they try to avoid having their heroes kill.
Yeah,
when
certainly
possible,
you don't want Spider-Man
because
killing. Yeah.
well, not only that, but just because it eliminates a potential recurring villain. When you have them, when you kill them off, I mean, that's one of the problems with the MCU right now. They kept killing all the fucking villains, so nobody could come back again and remain a thorn in the side. You couldn't do a second story with any of them.
Oh, they'll figure it out.
They got Red Skull. They still got what's the Hulk villain that was really cool?
Abomination.
They still got him. Loki's dead now, though.
Wes, do you not remember the tragedy that was She-Hulk with Abomination?
I didn't see it.
Oh, and he's all kumbaya, come say.
Lane Kramer probably would have put Aaron and I through our paces if he had the chance, but thankfully it's over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was Abomination not good in She-Hulk though?
No, he's like a Swami type character now. He's like leading group circles.
That's weird.
Motivational speaker. Yeah, it was interesting.
Like I kind of like when they did that with Captain America after the blip, the Thanos snap or whatever, and he's got like the survivors.
Yeah.
That's a
thing that
support
he's
group,
leading.
though. That's not like a
that
Tony
was kinda
Robbins, like a Tony Robbins kind of
Oh,
thing.
he's
That's
like
a support
like
group.
a guru or something.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Life coach.
Yeah.
I kind of like Tony Robbins in Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal
That
with
movie.
his banana fingers.
Yeah, Mr. Banana Fingers. That was a pretty good line.
I liked it on Family Guy where he unhinged his jaw and swallowed a manhole. Tony Robbins hungry.
Didn't a lot of people get like heat stroke because they were in like some type of thing, or maybe he did something where a lot of people got hurt. I don't know.
Didn't
Sometimes
Tony
you
Robbins
take
have the
career.
walk on? Didn't he have the
They
walk on
followed
hot
his
coals
advice.
thing?
Is that what happened? Somebody burnt
Wasn't
their
that
feet?
Tony Robbins? I can't remember.
If any of us were going to follow a guru and really get into it, like who do you think it would be? It would have to be Jim, right?
I knew it was going to be me.
Like I'm completely impervious to this.
I might.
Yeah.
You know, Tony Robbins, banana fingers. I'm like, he's a big guy. Whatever. Walk on coals. What the hell? I'd give it a shot.
Make me a better person.
Actually,
your
if he
wife would be
said
telling you it's going to make you a better husband.
All it would take is he'd say, "Man, those things are pretty hot," and I'd be like, "I gotta check this out." I'd burn the hell out of myself. It happens all the time.
There you go. I do want to say thank you very much to everybody for supporting the channel. Having a fun time here. We do have Mr. DC Comics with another one. Brett Booth is probably the best artist in the industry. Enjoyed his work on Gunslinger. Now he's on the main Spawn book. Brett Booth is fantastic.
I'd say he's the best artist that's currently still doing that can meet a monthly schedule and is doing superhero comics. Like, and wants to actually be doing superhero comics.
He puts
I've
up
got a
stuff.
I've
I was
got a
just going to say
story.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Max.
I was just going to say he puts stuff up on Twitter for his Patreon that is just absolutely gorgeous. I love Brett Booth and what he's doing.
And you know who colors his stuff? Andrew freaking
Andrew
Dollhouse,
Dollhouse.
baby. It
Oh,
comes
there you
full
go.
circle.
All right.
I've got a
Jordy Belair would make it more cinematic.
Oh.
I've got a Brett Booth cover on a book that was probably showing up in digital previews about yesterday.
Very nice.
Very nice. No, Brett Booth is great. There's some really good artists. So I mean, Jorge Jimenez is definitely
Mora.
still right up there. I really do like Marco Cicchetto. So there's some guys up there, and Brett Booth is definitely at the top of the heap when it comes to the best artists in the industry today, which is crazy because when did he start out, Doc? Was it
About 90,
Early 90s.
93.
Okay. So we're talking 30 years.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty
and
good time frame to be relevant.
he had a short period where he wasn't really working and wasn't really in doing comics. But then, he's been back for a good number of years now and making fucking money.
Very nice. Nerd says, why do you think that most people would rather complain about established comics than talk about the library of new IP crowd funds a shot? Do comics have any worth outside of Marvel, DC, Image, Dark House, etc.?
Because they don't come out.
Well, yeah, I got you. So I don't live in the United States. So to support a lot of these books, it would cost me at a minimum like $50 with the shipping and everything to the Philippines. And that's if the book is $20. If it's a $35 book, it's going to cost me $65, $70. And it gets very cost prohibitive to really get in on that stuff. As Doc mentioned, a lot of these projects haven't come out. I have two projects that I've funded in the last, at least 5 years ago that never showed up.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of people that are talking about the new library of IP crowdfunded comic books. And there's a big conversation about that stuff. It's just not what I specialize here because I don't get to join in on it. It wouldn't be a whole lot of fun to talk about a bunch of comic books that, one, I can't support because they're fucking too expensive. And even if I could, they would show up at least, I would say 45 days after everyone had already read them. So for me, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I can tell you, as someone that's covered a lot of independent stuff and Marvel and DC stuff, Marvel and DC stuff has a lot more interest from more people. That would be my thing. What do you got to say, Doc? I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's fine. My thing is they just don't come out. I mean, I'm sitting on if I were to, there's probably a half dozen books that I backed by different creators over the years that looked fucking phenomenal that I'm gonna probably go to my grave and never see released.
Well, a lot of these titles come out once a year, or maybe even once every 2 or 3 years. Iconic. The Common America guys do I think 3 or 4 volumes in a year, but they're some of the few independent creators that have got that pace to where they can actually do it.
Yes, the anybody putting out a crowdfunded book on a regular basis, they are the exception, not the rule. The majority of them, the majority of the crowdfunded product out there comes out very, very intermittently, if it comes out at all, and then when it does come out, what's the point of getting hyped about it? Because it's going to be 2 years before the next fucking issue. I'm sorry, that does not put asses in seats. It's the Image Comics model all over, like early Image Comics, which is, well, we're popular and we had a lot of hype. Let's see, we can make the hype last forever. Well, it didn't. By the time the next issue, by the time you start soliciting for the next issue, by the time it actually hits the stands, in this case, your mailbox, everybody's already forgotten what they were hyped about in the first place. If they even fucking read it and it's not the most mind-blowing shit you've ever read, your results for your next crowdfund drop. It's the law of diminishing returns because it's not being put in front of your eyes on a regular basis. Marvel and DC, for all their fucking faults, they're still putting shit out every single week.
They are putting shit out.
Well, yes, shit, but they're putting books on the shelf every single week, which, regardless of whether or not you're hyped, if you're hyped, it maintains the hype. If you're not hyped, it's another opportunity for them to start building hype for you, and it keeps it in your short-term memory, in your regular perception. Crowdfund doesn't. Sorry.
So, Aaron, I know you've got a crowdfunded book coming out, Kneel Before Doomface, and you're making sure that the entire project is done before you go and put it out there, right?
Oh, no, that is not true. No, that is not true.
That was another project.
Yeah, no, there's so Brotherhood of the Wolf is going to be completely finished. Doomface is going to be dependent upon crowdfunding if we can get the interest, behind it so that we can finish the book. There is a portion of it that will be done. Of course, we'll be showing off pages. We've got character designs. We've got the whole story written out. It's all ready to go. But in order to afford Renzo, I am going to have to depend on crowdfunding. So hopefully everybody comes out and supports it. Now, the goal is on your first crowdfunder, you hope to make enough that you can then take some of that money and put that towards production of number 2, because I would like to get to a model where we can complete an entire issue of Doomface, put it up for pre-order instead of crowdfunding. Everybody orders it. We go to print right after it closes. And, within a month, 2 months, you're getting that book. That's the model that you want to get to. And I think it's one that Iconic does really well. They've got a good, kind of like financial backing and structure for what they do. And I think that a lot of these crowdfunders out there that have made really big money, yet you still have to wait a year, 2 years for them to finish the book. I think that's why they're hitting diminishing returns now, is because what are you doing? You made $300,000. How can you not afford to put out the next book?
It's tough because now I think we're seeing this period of time where you're getting like really talented creators on books that take, anywhere from 1 to 3 years to come out. And then you get a book and you're like, man, this is really great, or you see the artwork is fantastic. But then you get now we're seeing this new kind of influx of people that are like, I'm not a creator. I don't really create anything, but I'm going to have a finished product and I'm going to send it to you right away and you're going to get it. And it's like, oh, well, okay, I have the book, but it's not that great. So it's like, if we could mix the two somehow, let's get really great books out in a like timely manner. But I understand that is very difficult because a lot of these creators put so much of their heart and time into this stuff. So I just don't put any, it's, you got to really choose which ones you are backing, because like you said, Wes, even if it's not shipping all the way to the Philippines, sometimes some of these books are $35, then $45 plus shipping just here within the US. And it's like, I mean, you're paying for more than 2 graphic novels at that point. So you got to watch where you're putting your money.
Yeah, the value proposition is not that great.
Dill Lindsay says, hello all. How do you guys feel about Batman's no-kill rule? I like it, and even if it doesn't always make sense, what about heroes killing in general? It's an important part of the character. It's super important, Josh.
Yeah, like Batman needs to have a no-kill rule. I'm perfectly fine if he maims people. Like, I think that is a very Batman thing to do.
How about torture? In the right circumstance.
Enhanced interrogation techniques could be allowed.
I like that.
I'm not working on any espionage stories. What are you talking about? Yeah. No, I think you need to have that balance. I think you need to have the heroes that believe you shouldn't kill, and I think you need to have the heroes that believe in killing. And it's part of what made Red Hood work so well there for a little bit, and especially what I loved in the 90s with Huntress. Like, you had Batman and Huntress having very verbal duels about what was right, what needed to happen. And there was a Batman book where Gordon actually sides with Huntress, and he's like, these people need to be stopped. They need to be put down. It just makes a good dynamic and a good layer.
Gordon
and nuance.
Batman, you are putting an undue stress on our entire criminal justice system. Start putting some of these guys down.
Yeah,
You
I
need to
mean,
stop having tribes.
there's a comic where Huntress pretty much tells Batman, if you stop someone and he gets loose, every person he kills from now on is on your hands.
Mhm.
And I can't disagree with that mindset, but I also don't think all heroes need to be killing people. So
Well, all heroes do need limits on what they can do power-wise and what they're willing to do within the framework of who they are. And putting limits on Batman is smart because then he has choices. And he has,
And it also
conflict
gives you
within
the
himself.
debate of should he have killed that person? And like Josh just said, is he responsible for the thing? And that's interesting.
Then you get the great rooftop scene with Daredevil and Punisher.
Yeah,
When they're having the conversation about why he's better than Punisher. And Punisher's like, no, you are just me. You just don't have the testicular fortitude to do what's necessary.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think
comics-
I
yeah,
think
like
that it's a very fine line to walk for a hero to decide whether or not to become judge, jury, and executioner. And I think that that's always the interesting thing about the heroes that don't kill, not crossing that line, especially when it would be, there's that great line in, I can't remember what story it's from, but where they say to Batman, like you couldn't, it was too hard for you to ever, cross that line and kill the Joker. And Batman says, no, it would be too easy. And that's such a great part of his character is it's like it would be easy to give into wrath. It would be easy to take that life and to take those matters into your own hands, but that's a line that once you cross it, it just becomes so easy to cross it, and then the next thing you know, you are the Punisher and you're just your ledger is just soaked with blood.
Man, that's why Punisher's great. And so is Judge Dredd, because he literally is judge, jury, and execution.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's his job. Like that was literally in the description of when he applied.
Yeah.
Calvin says Zack Snyder read All-Star Batman and Robin, 100%. Yeah. Well, he likes to quote the Dark Knight Returns, which is a more violent, darker take on Batman, but it's not in continuity. It's not supposed to be in canon Batman. And even then, Josh, he doesn't kill anybody. He just shoots them.
He doesn't even kill the Joker. Joker kills himself. Unless we're to take that scene that's the way that Batman justified it in his mind, and he really did break the Joker's neck, which I've always thought was, a possibility.
Yeah. Future reveal from Chip Zdarsky, perhaps.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I bet he wishes he had made that statement. We did have something else coming out. We've got Pride Month coming up, Josh. It's a big time. And we, of course, are allies of you. And we're very happy for you. And we're going to be celebrating Pride Month with you. But apparently not everybody is happy that Marvel are going to be acknowledging the Pride allies on covers. And, Popverse came out against it. I guess there was a lot of talk on the social medias. Where are you coming down on this one, Josh?
Joe Glass came out against it, too. Josh.
Of course. Where do I come out on this? I don't fucking care. I'm not going to read these books. They're shit. Like, why? Look,
you're not going to buy the cover?
No. I just see all it is doing more of what. Like, we've got enough gay. Okay, like back when we weren't getting gay characters, and we'd get a Pride anthology to get some of these gay characters out there, and it was actually like halfway decent. This gay character you don't get to see ever is going on an adventure. Sure. But now just like, oh my God, we're going to the parade because I'm gay, Yeah,
they don't take them on any adventures. They don't tell any compelling stories in these Pride anthologies. It's like, why don't you, okay, you're going to tell a Tim Drake story, even though, Tim Drake is not gay as far as I'm concerned. But, you want to tell a Tim Drake story? Just tell a Robin story. Tell a cool Robin story. And it doesn't even have to, like, his sexuality. We don't even have to focus on that. It's just he's a gay character. He's in this gay Pride anthology, and here's a really kick-ass action, story that is going to make you go, wow, I really like Robin. I want to read more about him.
Yeah, no, but instead we have to have characters like Midnighter and Apollo on a beach,
They're
discussing,
on the beach,
discussing whether one of them cheated on the other instead of like Apollo or Midnighter punching holes through people. Like that's what I like. Rip somebody's head off. That's what I want.
Yeah.
It's insulting to think that the only thing that gay characters have to offer is gay.
Yeah.
They can't have any other kind of character traits or interesting things about them. It's like, you're an interesting guy, Josh. We like you. Even if tomorrow you were like, hey, I'm straight now, we'd be like, cool, man. you know, but we'd still like you. You know, you're not around just because we're like, we need a gay in the group so we don't look like homophobes. You know, it has nothing, you know, our friendship with you, our appreciation for you has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has to do with the fact that you are a fully developed human being with thoughts and feelings and interests, and those are way more important.
You know what's interesting is before, because I make gay jokes all the time now, and I talk about gay issues all the time now, and I used to never do that. I used to never even mention my sexuality or anything. But when comics started leaning so heavily into it, and you know, people like Wes and even Max, when he was pretty much kind of getting his channel going, were saying like, hey, this isn't good storytelling, people automatically jumping into you're a homophobe, you're a bigot, da-da-da. And I was like, no, like they have valid points. I'm gonna jump in and be like the gay shield because these guys have a point.
Are you our beard?
Superhero? Can I put you in Doomface? Can we have the gay shield?
The gay shield, please. That would be an honor. But you know, then we hit like June, the year that they announced Tim Drake and announced John, and it's like ever since then it's just been gay nonstop, and it's too much. It's too much. There's no characters. There's no story. I mean, look, I think there is value to having stories about allies, but it's not going to be any good stories or stories worth telling. It's just going to be a bunch of straight people being like, oh my God, I love you and accept you because you're the bestest ever. Of course we will, you know, go to the gay bar, or of course we'll walk with you in the parade, or of course I'm going to wear my pride t-shirt. Like,
but it's just covers, right? It's just covers. Yeah. So it's going to be like the most treacly surface level. It's going to be like, look, Batman's dancing at the gay club with Tim Drake to show he's an ally. And it's like, how worthless is that?
It's worthless. When it's a moment in an ongoing book, fine. And the reason I say that is you had the New 52 Teen Titans, which was a terrible book. But, you know, you had Tim Drake that, you know, the Titans went with Bunker to the gay pride parade, and it was like 2 or 3 pages, and that's it. And that's all you dealt with that. Fine. But now we're getting whole like story arcs about it. It's crap.
Well, it's funny because
go ahead, Max.
I was just going to say it's funny because you can't even recognize the difference between a regular Marvel comic and then a Marvel Pride comic. They both look the exact same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
I mean, DC's as bad, if not worse. Look at freaking Fire and Ice, you know? I mean, geez.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bravo Dave is referencing Joe Glass here. He says, come on, Josh McDonald. We need to read about how good of a bottom Iceman is.
Oh, no.
Let's not.
What the hell?
Please.
Yeah.
See, Wes, you go away. You go away, and the chat just degenerates into.
Yeah, and like Josh was saying, the idea, like I ended up remembering at one point, I reviewed a Pride issue. I didn't like it because the stories were bad, and then just got called a homophobe the whole time. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with these. I'm done with these completely because it's not worth it and just nonsense.
Tell me a story.
Bad creative.
That's all I'm asking. Tell me a good story. Yeah. Give me a good action story. Give me a good superhero story. These are superhero comics. The characters are gay. Cool. Tell me a superhero story, and you know, I will understand that they are gay as they go on a superhero adventure.
Yeah, we don't need a story with Midnighter using his fight computer to argue with Apollo of who he's looking at in a bar. That's not what that was set up for. It is very odd.
Performative narcissism.
Yeah.
Man, Doc is like coining the phrase. He said cultural locusts, and I love that. And now performative narcissism. Like, man.
And you know what's interesting about all this is that it will never, ever be good enough. Because in that article from the Pop First that we were reading, the woman who writes about it is saying that, you know, there are allies within the community or whatever. But it's a white savior complex that Marvel and DC want to do this thing. So I'm like, but aren't we supposed to use our white voices to speak out for marginalized and groups? It never makes sense, and it will never be good enough, because even when they did the same thing with the Women of Marvel with Gail Simone, and Gail Simone wrote a pandering story, super condescending towards men. And yet all the people who she wanted to, garner from that audience, they all hated her because they were like, of course we're including men in this Women of Marvel book. It will never, ever be good enough for the audience that they are trying to attract with these books.
Yep.
Like Andrew Wheeler said at Comics Alliance. He said, we will finally have equality in comic books when Captain America has a boyfriend. Well, as far as I know, there are 2 gay Captain Americas now that both have boyfriends.
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
one
but it
that's
won't be.
good?
It won't be. But see, like even when they finally capture the critical node and infrastructure of Steve Rogers and make him have a boyfriend, Max is absolutely right. It will not be enough. It'll be like, what's the next thing? Until every
Right.
character is gay and there's no straight characters, these activists will never be satisfied. You know, they want to consume everything, and in their narcissism, they want everything to be a reflection of them, and that is the problem. That's why you can't appease this audience. You can't solve this problem for them because it will never be enough.
I gotta read this real quick because Bravo Dave is absolutely killing me in the comments. But he said, "Silence is violence. How dare you white knight this issue?"
Yeah. No, it's crazy how, the article says this poorly made decision to highlight allies during the month of Pride has already begun to backfire. She thinks that like by doing this they have like good intentions. So then why isn't that a good thing? Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to do this in good
And
intentions,
it's covered.
and she still undercuts it, and she's like, it's not good enough. It's like,
It's not backfiring. It's just you guys are never satisfied. All you guys do is bitch.
yeah.
It's not backfiring. It'll
It's
do
a
what it's meant to
backside
do.
firing.
It'll be some covers that retailers have to. It'll be some
Well,
covers that retailers have to
butt
decide
cheeks.
whether or not to pour money into that are going to sit on their shelves. It's the same
Well, I
thing it
think what-
always is.
Tiffany Babb is missing here, and Doc and I kind of get into it because we have a video we already recorded about it, Josh, is that in a lot of ways, Pride Month has been appropriated by corporation, and it's a marketing scheme. And Daredevil's not gay, but they want him on the Pride cover, so now they'll put the allies in there just to make a little extra money.
Of course,
It's marketing.
Yeah,
Because
Pride
nobody's
Month
gonna.
and-
Good
They
point.
want to have something different.
Well,
everybody's
also,
got to come out and say, I'm something of a homosexual myself.
Like
Also-
if it was at DC, are you going to sell more covers with Batman with some or Circuit Breaker? You need to sell the thing.
Yeah, who's Circuit Breaker?
Exactly.
yeah,
I'll tell you who
exactly.
Circuit Breaker is. Circuit Breaker is a character from the Marvel Comics Transformers run that needs to make a comeback. That's who Circuit Breaker is.
That's who it is. Yeah.
Look,
Circuit Breaker.
I'm going to throw this out there. If you want to pick up anything for Pride Month, there is a book that Joe Corallo is going to be on, honoring Rachel Pollack. Go grab that. It's got some good. It's got some good stories in it. It's announced. I can say it now. Joe's got a story in it. Go check it out.
Yep.
Joe's got a
Nice.
good story in it.
Yeah. And that's the
he
problem.
told
Most
me
of
what it
these
was.
don't have good stories. Because most of the characters aren't really established. They only have one thing. So when Pride
Joe's a
comes
real
around,
writer.
Yeah, he's a
Yes,
real writer.
Joe's
and
an
actually cares
actual
about
writer.
It. Does actually
Joe-
what writers should do.
Joe Corallo, not Joe Glass.
No,
They're two
no,
different Joes.
no.
But his bookie's in the bio.
Bookie. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
I don't know. I just want you to know, Josh, I'm your ally.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Wes. I
Because it's just a
appreciate
Pride
that.
Month thing. I'm always your ally just because you're a good guy.
I'm your
Thanks.
Huckleberry.
Because of this, right? Huh?
You're on the cover.
Where the
Oh yeah,
hearts?
heart.
There
I
it
don't
is.
think mine does it.
I love it.
Nope.
I love
My
it.
heart's looking
Max's
janky
isn't
anyways.
working either. Like you and Max, Wes, are you both.
You
have
can
that
do this
capability.
too. I do this and I get a laser show. Huh?
Nice.
Oh,
Look at that.
hell yeah.
Wes, if you do this, you get balloons too.
I get balloons?
Oh yeah, confetti.
Confetti.
Yeah, there you
Confetti.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Now
that's very nice.
go.
So you're using a Mac as well.
We're both. Let me see. Will mine work again? Yeah, baby. Let's go. Now
Here's
it's
another
Pride.
one I'm
Look at all those.
forgetting.
Yeah, I
colors.
bet to
Now
say
we're
that
celebrating
was
Pride,
super
yeah.
gay. That worked out well.
Yeah. We are the true allies, Josh.
Indeed.
Are you surprised there's negative feedback on this one, Josh?
No, I mean, like it's again, it's kind of what we talked about while you stepped away. It's the same shit we're already getting that nobody wants, and now they're trying to make a bigger to do. And anytime you're going to slap non-gay characters on a cover of a Pride issue, you're going to start having some psychos out there being like, "Oh my god, this character's gay now."
Absolutely.
So it's just.
And it wouldn't just be psychos. I would probably make a video on it. There would be an article on whatever that gay website is talking about how that character has come out as gay on the cover.
To clarify, that was more of a special needs voice of people excited thinking that
Oh.
character was gay, not
What is it?
detractors.
Out.com would have that'd be their big fucking headline.
Oh, probably.
So
Yeah.
It is what it is, I guess. The peoples have spoken. Joshua Y says, I think the whole Batman no-kill rule is one of the main reasons for the Dark Knight's metal events with all the evil Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I assumed it was
say
because they wanted variant covers.
Yeah,
I would say so too,
that
and
too.
action figures for McFarlane.
Yeah. It was what if ideas that they decided to make into an event.
Yeah, it was. What if Batman were the Flash? What if
Yeah.
Batman were Wonder Woman? What if Batman were Aquaman? It's like it's one idea spread over, and then Marvel tried to do it with. What if Miles Morales was Thor?
Oh,
By
God.
Odin's fate.
By Odin's fate.
Oh no.
But what was better, Josh? Was it what if Batman is Flash or what if Batman was a building?
Flash, for sure.
Remember when he
Absolutely,
became a
100%.
castle?
I do.
Didn't he become a sentient Batmobile too?
Yep.
babe?
And then at one point we had like T-Rex bat, which was kind of
Yep.
like based, but we didn't really get anything
Nice.
with
Speed
it.
buggy
so,
bat. You know.
Yeah. It went too
Which
far.
one was your favorite variant of Batman in the Dark Knight's death metal type thing?
I'm wanting to say I feel like it was the cyborg one. I'd have to go back and look. I tried to forget that, but there were
Wasn't
two
he
that
like
I thought
a death car?
That was Murder Machine.
Yeah.
Murder
Murder
Machine.
Machine.
I like the
think-
baby that fell down the stairs and couldn't move. That was the best.
Wasn't that Warren
I like
Ellis? that
the-
did that?
Yeah, I
The
think
Red
it was.
Death.
Yeah, it was Warner.
Oh man.
The
I
Red
thought
Death
Red
was
Death
cool.
was good.
I also liked Dawnbreaker a lot because I thought his design.
Dawnbreaker was good too. Yeah, I like all those. Those are fun. It's too bad he did Dark Knight's death metal and kind of just ruined the idea.
Yep.
Yeah, you go back to the well, and sometimes it's okay just to let a story lie and be what it is.
And there were a lot of comics in that run. I think that whole thing takes up one entire long box. I was going through it the other day and I was like, my gosh, there are a lot of books in this
A
run.
lot of tie-ins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Max,
Captain White-
when I die, and it'll probably be soon. Can I give you my comics? I feel like I need to. I need to like bequeath upon you all of
boy.
the
Oh my
classic
gosh, I don't
runs.
I don't deserve that, but thank you.
I know you would care for them the way that
I
the
would.
way that I care
Yeah.
for them.
My
Actually,
lot.
Max, I have some stuff that I'm going to mail you. A bunch of extra X books that I was going to send to you.
Oh,
So,
dude.
we'll-
Well, thank you
we'll-
so much. I
we'll-
appreciate that.
We'll talk.
yeah.
We'll talk later.
Excellent.
Captain
I appreciate
Whitebread
it.
says the writer who shall not be mentioned put it best in Kingdom Come Batman is someone who doesn't want to see anyone else die.
Now ask
mean-
Mark Wade. Now ask Mark Wade to write an abortion story with Batman and see how that changes.
I
Oh,
don't know.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
That went weird. Nerd says, Doc,
That's what I'm
when are
here
you
for.
going to review X-Men Elsewhere from John Byrne? If you have read it, tell me your thoughts. It's stunning and brave that Marvel meeting his demands is putting that out to move from Orgyland.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, if Marvel was smart, they'd be trying to get Byrne to let them publish it and actually.
They've done that, and he said no.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, financially incentivize it in some way because they're probably like, "Hey, we'll let us put this out. We'll give you $19 and some pocket lint."
Lint. Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, no, I think I'll go with 0 on that. Thanks, but fuck off." So no, I mean, like, actually make a reasonable attempt to get that out. I have read parts of it. I am not entirely up to date on Elsewhere. I think I read up through issue 10 or 12. And it's not because I don't like it. I fucking love it. I hate reading comics on digital. Like, I despise it. So I've read them when I was traveling and like on an airplane or something because I that's how much I hate digital comics.
I'm gonna start calling you Cry Macho.
It's
The
a
old, get off my lawn guy. Can't do
Yes.
digital comic books.
I fucking hate digital comics,
Listens
man.
to LPs.
Yeah.
But you know
Likes the
what?
Pops and hisses.
If I could force myself to sit down and read it just because of the format, basically, I'm pretty sure I would love it even more. But I try to avoid reading anything digitally whenever possible.
I agree with Doc. There's nothing like having that comic in your hands.
100%.
I read digital, and even with that, it's not kind of set up great for
It's necessity.
anyway. Yeah,
Rolling
for
Dutch
that.
is a good solution, Doc. He's like, why don't you just print them out?
That actually is a good idea. You know what?
Like, how did that not occur to us?
Because most of us don't have printers anymore. But yeah, you know what?
Down to the Kinkos.
Yes. No, fucking Kinko's has like rules about that shit.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're like,
yeah.
any sort of copyrighted material, they do not allow you to print.
It's not copyrighted. That's the point. That
I
that's why you can do it.
I understand that, but trying to convince
They probably
Kinko's
wouldn't
that
know.
it's not copyrighted.
That's
Yeah.
what
You
I mean.
probably
That's
have
what
to get,
Silvani
like, a
and
letter.
that's what Silvani and I are planning to do with Darkwing Duck, is just to finish our stories and do them online for everybody to read. And if they want to toss
That's
money,
cool.
to James's Patreon, that's cool. But it's all going to be for free.
Very nice.
Do it.
I'm in.
Federico de la Casa. How come Marvel never commented besides Wes about gay Sandman that raped men? Now, raped men is gay, is okay. Nobody thinks like that except pervs. So he's talking about Somnus, the sleep raper. Where, that was a rough character, Josh. I blame you. He sends other male
I blame
superheroes to
Josh,
sleep, and
too.
then they bang each other for 1,000 years after he uses his sleep powers to make them fall in love with him.
As my friend Danny sometimes says, party. So
I think that's a great title, though, Wes. When they give Somnus his own book in this, in this new Brevoort era, Somnus the Sleep Raper. That should be the title.
It would be cutting edge. You'd probably get an article or two out on that one. Marvel's new comic book Sleep Raper is number one on the charts. People apparently were confused what was going to be in here.
I don't know why. We spelled it out right in the title. I don't know what you guys were thinking. You're thinking it couldn't possibly be that, but then it was.
I can't believe Jordan White. Well, I mean, I can believe it because he's Jordan White, that he let Steve Orlando put his self-insert sleep character into was it Marauders?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can absolutely believe it, because here's the thing. Jordan White is so much of a pussy that to any normal person sitting there going, wait, so the character puts people asleep. I mean, and then like molests them in their dreams. What did you not just think to call him Roofy? Like,
I was going to say that.
Bill
I was like, that was in the
Cosby,
original
maybe?
pitch. That was the one note that Jordan White gave him was like, let's change the name to something cooler than Roofy.
yes.
That was the only objection he had.
Another reason why you can't buy into these Marvel Voices Pride books, because like that's where he debuted, and it's like all these stupid fucking. I think that's where Escapade also debuted, the Charlie Jane Anders self-insert character.
And
over New Mutants.
I think it's also where Chocolate Poop appeared.
Soft serve.
Yes. I don't know. Chocolate Poop's funnier.
I don't
I
think
like
that was
chocolate
it was somewhere. Soft serve has been in the background somewhere pooping out ice cream.
There is apparent there's some fetish, and I don't. Never mind.
Well, let's not
You
get
know
into
what?
that.
Let's go.
Mr. DC Comics, X-Men 97. Anybody seen it? I have not
Josh
seen
has.
it. Josh
I
has
watched
not.
it.
yeah, look, it definitely is trying to send some messages, but it's not too heavy-handed. The second episode, it was smart to release the first two episodes. The first episode is second episode really kind of sets up a lot of stories that are you can tell are gonna carry throughout the season, and it's interesting stories, and it's stories that are in the comics and based on comics. So,
Do you believe the Russo guy that says this is basically attacking MAGA conservatives like you?
I mean, you can see some similarities. Like you can definitely pull it.
Do they have the hats?
No. It's just the fact that it's they're doing like a trial of Magneto where yeah, but it doesn't lean heavily into that comic. But there are people that want mutants dead. but they've always kind of had that little bit of a slant there, anyways, for for a few decades now. So,
well, Magneto is the mutant that thinks that mutants should rule the world because he's a mutant supremacist. So
correct, So,
yeah.
So were they saying, was Russo saying that Magneto was Trump, or that the people storming the building were those of the like the insurrection? Because
yeah,
okay,
latter.
because when Magneto spoke, I believe he was saying something like, we need to learn how to understand to be peaceful with each other. But I don't know if Russo knows that that's the win that he thinks it is if he's comparing Magneto to Biden. Is that what he was trying to do?
I don't think so. I think it was
No.
It's
I
weird.
think he's just saying
it doesn't work. It's just because when you're a very dumb hammer, all you see are nails.
Yes.
So he's going to be like,
All right.
this is obviously Trump. But the allegory doesn't work because Magneto is a murderer. Magneto has killed people in the name of mutant supremacy. So Magneto is a villain. Now, yes, he's going to have his redemption arc, but he's still, in the theory of our justice system, should pay for those crimes. And that's what this is about. So is he saying that the people storming the building against Magneto are in the wrong because Magneto represents Biden? And so is he calling Biden a murderer? The allegory
Well,
breaks
it's not
down.
a
It doesn't
That's what I
work.
was
It
like,
doesn't
what?
work. Yeah, it's like when you're trying to fit, you've got one of those balls like when you're a little kid and you're trying to fit the shapes into it, but they don't fit. So he's just banging it against the little ball trying to get it in there, but it doesn't work.
No. It's really close there. Hold on. There was one. There was a video that came out. It was this autistic girl being very, very upset because if you do it at the right angle, all of them go in the square hole.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's like-
I was about to say they all fit in the square hole. What are you talking about? But to answer, I think we're overthinking that scene. Kind of what Aaron was saying about Magneto is a murderer. He has done terrible things. That's what has people riled up. And the only commentary there is like the people that are riled up don't even feel like he deserves a trial, and they just want him assassinated. So yeah.
I mean, that kind of works towards the left too. Like you could draw that allegory back.
All right,
it's
fellas.
just the way that I'm not getting political. I'm just saying. Like,
I don't care if you're getting political. Adam needs to eat.
Chicken
I'm
nuggets.
hungry.
Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock.
Wrap
How
the
did we
show
get
up.
here?
Federico de la Casa. How come X-rated fanfic became mainstream?
Shippers.
Cheap labor.
I
Shippers,
guess
Tumblr, and cheap labor. It might as well be the third world.
maybe Axel Alonso thought he was seeing the future of Marvel Comics. He's like, yeah, it's what we need in our mainstream books.
You can pay these people with like lewd art. Like you could just be like, hey, go to the artist, be like, hey, draw one extra page where this guy's fucking this other guy, and just send it to them.
Right.
That's their payment for. We don't have to pay them for the script then. Okay.
All right, let's get to some comic book recommendations since everyone's decided to go so graphic today. I do want to say, MVP, thank you very much for joining us. I'm glad everything's going well for you. How's the Warhammer 40K channel coming?
It's been slow, unfortunately, the past few weeks. I've been painting a ton, which has been fantastic. Getting really into painting and building some of these models that I haven't touched in a while. But the actual material on the Warhammer 40K channel has been slow. Been going through job interviews and also finishing up my master's degree. So we're in our final core class, which is case studies and a thesis paper and all that stuff. So it's been very busy on my end, but it's still, I still want to try and make it something into something really cool. But thank you again for having me. And I really appreciate the conversation today. These were all really, really great topics. And you guys always articulate your points perfectly. So it's an honor to be, an ally of Thinking Critical and the Comics Aficionados.
Absolutely.
Otherwise known as a friend. I got to recommend all the Conan stuff. And then the Transformers #6, if you want to see a hero and what it means to sacrifice as a heroic male figure in comic books, read Transformers issue #6. I mean, realistically, read 1 through 6. right? But if you can't get your hands on the previous issues, read issue 6. It is gut wrenching. It really is emotional. And DWJ, I think, as a father himself, understands the self-sacrifice of heroes and of fathers and their role that they play for this comic and for this universe. And I really love that book. So I would give it to Transformers number 6 and Savage Sword of Conan, the magazine-sized edition. So
very, very nice. Who else we got? We got Jim. You're doing okay. You're healthy this week. We're very happy
Fine.
about that. Are you recommending books?
Yeah. I really liked If You Find This, I'm Already Dead, number 2. I also not my favorite writer, but Ram V. I did like Dawn Runner, number 1, a new number
cool.
1 from him. Like Justice Society of America, number 9 at DC, even though the delays have just pretty much killed that book and any enthusiasm behind it. And the Cobra Commander, I will put as my books for recommendation.
It's definitely a heavy on the indie book kind of thing. You guys are going to definitely see that when Drew and I talk about that later. We've also got, obviously, Josh. Are you recommending any books?
I'm a little behind this week. I read the new Bloodshot. I did not like it. They did a weird like Batmite type thing with Bloodshot. It wasn't for me. I did go ahead and read You and I. I'm still hanging in there for now. We'll see. It's 6 issues, so
it's the artist that's carrying that book.
Oh yeah, agreed. I'm curious to see where it goes. And for 6 issues, I'll stay tuned in. But I've got a whole stack of indie books that I need to get through, and excited to see what they have to offer.
Well, hopefully you got Dawn Runner, because that one definitely is good.
I believe I did.
Yeah, very cool
I heard
stuff.
you were a little behind, Josh, by the way.
He's always behind.
Well, you know.
Aaron, do you recommend any books?
Yeah, as you know, Wes, I don't pick up my books till the weekend, so I have not read any of this week's books yet. But I'm seeing in the chat that Mad Report Nights number 2 is out, so that I'm kind of excited about that. I'm excited about like Sully's recommendation of Dawn Runner, your recommendation of Dawn Runner, and of course I know I'm going to love the Transformers book just because I've been loving it so far. And if Cobra Commander's out this week too, then that's going to be a really good week for comics. I'm also picking up Black Armor.
G.I. Joe Real American Hero comes out this week too.
Oh, excellent! And then I'm picking up Daredevil Black Armor 1 through 4 this week. So hopefully that one's good. But I like Netho Diaz's art quite a bit.
Jim, you're a big fan of Black Armor, right?
Oh yeah, love it.
doesn't sound good.
I know.
You recommended it 1 week.
Yeah, I actually like it. So yeah.
Are you okay, Jim? Yes. Like, are you all right? Are you like dipping into the valley of despair?
I just
this
realized
was your respite.
My
now
life.
You're going back to regular life.
I'm sitting there when I was going through the comics that came out this week, trying to decide. I'm like, oh God, I got to talk about all this shit still. So yeah, I did get a little bit of a dark moment there.
Hello, darkness.
Well, Jim feels like he didn't deliver this week. He didn't almost die. He doesn't have anything too outrageous. He only got speared like Goldberg style. And
it was a spear. It actually was.
Well, I mean, that could have ended his career. Going up against Goldberg, that could be.
Yeah, really. I came out without my neck.
Botchberg.
So I ended up having that. But yeah, I feel like I let everybody down. I had a pretty much standard week. Bad comics though.
All right, Doc. Last but not least, you recommend any books?
Well, nothing new, but I'm going to go old again. Well, actually, there is one sort of new book, but so we're gonna go with Majestic number 1. This fucking book is awesome. If you're a Superman fan, it's very like kind of Silver Age Superman-y. So Joe Casey did it. This one has Ed McGuinness art, so it's really dope. I think the Ed McGuinness did the first 6 issues, and friend of the channel Eric Canetti did the other 6. So Mr. Majestic, this fucking book is dope. Then we will go with Hulk 388. I think it's maybe this is 400. No, 393. That's it. And mostly because it was a cool foil cover. Why not? Yeah, I mean Dale Keown art. Actually, I think Gary Frank might have been doing the regular interiors by this point. Yeah, but Dale did a cover for it, so Yes, this book is great. Then we will go with. I've started since I'm almost done with my Uncanny X-Men run. I've been letting myself buy a little bit more earlier, like pre-issue 300 Spider-Man,
Ooh,
and
Killer.
Yes, yep.
Gail Keelan does the interiors on that whole book.
Oh, he did 393. Okay,
Yes.
and then Mr. Hyde.
Yeah,
would be
that's a
perfect
classic
for
cover.
April.
Yes, and then I have one modern book here, and it's completely for the cover.
Oh,
It's a David Nakayama. It's the MegaCon Virgin exclusive foiled variant from this is Fall of the House of X #1. Don't read anything inside of this.
yeah. What a misleading cover. You think that, oh man, I'm getting some good stuff here, and then you open it up and go,
you get
what
this
the
like
hell?
very like X-Men 97 homage, foil variant. And so don't read inside of it, just buy the cover, or actually see if you can find, if they start doing foil prints, then I'd say go buy those instead. Then
I'd buy a poster. I'd buy a poster of that in a heartbeat.
Yes. So, yep, there you go. So those are my recommendations for the week.
Jim, what's the worst comic book? Is it X-Men 32 or Fall of the House of X #1? Both Jerry dug it.
32.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think 32 as well.
Yeah, it was so
Ooh,
bad.
Interesting.
It was a very bad comic book. I do want to say thank you very much to all the guests, the panelists. I'm sorry I got snippy there at the end, but I do have food coming my way. And Aaron Sparrow is raising his hand.
Yes, I have one thing left to say. If you guys, if any of our locals or anybody flying into town is attending WonderCon next week, Max and I are planning on attending. I'm not sure which days I'm going to go yet, but if you guys want to, meet up, hit us up on the socials.
Are you not going to be here next weekend?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at going Friday, so hopefully everything works out. But I will, I'll let you know.
Bad mood. That's all I got to say. Definitely do a little meetup at WonderCon. That'll be a lot of fun. You can have lunch with HH at the Applebee's and get some of the good fresh foods there. And
you know what we should do, Max? Since you live so close, I should just come to your place. We'll do aficionados and then head over to the con.
We could both tune in. Yeah, I mean, we may
I'll
be
just come
able to
sit there in the man cave, man.
We have
you
done
guys
it
could
before.
meet up at Arby's afterwards.
Sit on each other's laps.
And hey, if you meet up with HH and go to the Applebee's, Gail might be there asking Alejandro for more breadsticks.
All right, fellas. I'm going to bounce out of here and get my grub on. But you all have a wonderful weekend, and I really appreciate it. Lots of fun here.